Hello, 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 hello. How are we all doing? On this grey and quite cold Friday evening, slight change in plans, guys. I did say I was going to do a bit of Sleeping Dogs, but honestly, after the week I've had, I am very, very tired. So I would like to play something a little bit more chill. So we're going to play some PowerWash Simulator. I'm just going to have a nice old chat with you guys instead. So there, we're going to clean some buildings. More washing, exactamundo. Who have we got in here? We have Homer, we have Jeppo, we have Jen. Hello to you all. Much love. Where did we get to? Cleaned up in career mode. There's even more to wash in our range of specials, from one-off seasonal maps to campaigns setting fun favourite fictional universes. Look at all this. Look at all this. All this stuff. Well, anyway, this is going to be a long while off for this channel. I mean, I think these are free, if I remember right. Oh, there's a Halloween one. We might do that. Might do that for Halloween as a little special. The rest of these are all paid DLC, of course. So let us pick up where we left off. Weather has been my idea, which means too cold for most. Hey, J-Log, how are you doing today? Happy Friday, thank you. You too. Any plans for the weekend? I am working again tomorrow, and then I am spending the rest of my weekend with Jen, and we are going to be playing a bit of Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, so that's going to be fun, making our own little characters there. So we have the fire station, the forest cottage, and the motorbike and sidecar. I can't remember which order we got these in. We'll just do a little quickie on who the motorbike and sidecar to start things off. Nice to hear. Okay, just doing some hobby gigs on the side. Nice! Midgar and Tomb Raider DLCs are free, the rest are paid. That's fair. I mean, I guess that stands to reason, you know, Midgar and Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy Tomb Raider being owned by Square after all. Sue Berry. You may have seen the pics of my hubby and I becoming the first sidecar to complete the 24-hour Great Plains Challenge. Everyone thought the tracks were just too bumpy and 24 hours in the seat too restrictive, but it was no problem at all. When I got uncomfortable, I just took my hands off the throttle for a second and gave them a shake. The brutal 5-hour river section sure took it out of the sidecar, though. Can you clean it up? By the way, Bobby wondered if you knew any chiropractors. D&D Virgins, that's ours, but not for long. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. The only D&D adjacent gaming that I really have under my belt is Baldur's Gate, which of course we've done on stream, and naturally Dungeons and Dragons, Eddie's podcast. We'll do the mid-go. Oh, we'll be doing all of them, don't get me wrong. I mean, like PowerWash Simulator 2 is coming out soon, but we're going to be stretching the first game for a big old while here. Hello, Dark Ark, how are you doing today? Alrighty, let's clean this flippin'... Oh, there we go. Get that big nozzle on there. Fifth of the way done already. Third of the way done. My god, we are smashing this one. Now there's going to be like a billion tiny little fiddly bits I can't get, isn't there? Oh yeah, I knew this was going to be a quick one. I didn't think it was going to be this quick. We're nearly 2/3 done already. This wasn't as dirty as she suggested. You've seen some of the filth I've cleaned in this game. Goodness me. Doing fine? I'm doing very well. Very tired from work though, so we're having a nice chill one today with this. We were, like I was saying a moment ago, we were going to do some Sleeping Dogs, but I feel like I'd have to concentrate on that. I know I've had that in the rotation for a very long time now, and it is to my very real shame that I've not managed to finish it up, because it is, as you guys know, one of my favourite games ever, and the fact that I've dragged my feet with it is a source of great shame. But we will get there eventually with Sleeping Dogs. Oop. Everything hitting at once there. Still quite a lot of gunk to get off. Fiddly Bits is my favourite children's show. I feel like Fiddly Bits would be like the name of the puppet character in the show. Oh, Fiddly Bits, you've got into mischief again? Oh no, this'll take forever to clean up. Fiddly Bits. And then Fiddly Bits are just sort of like shrugging around. Wah, wah. In my head they can't talk, they just make noises. You go to a different nozzle here. See, my hubris has once again come back to haunt me. Because there was me, mere moments ago, saying how quickly this one was going, and now I'm struggling to find all the little tiny shitty bits, aren't I? Things go the way I'm hoping to be buying a ticket for my first ever K-pop concert next week. Nice! I know very little about K-pop, I will be honest, but who are you going to see? I'm sure someone in chat will know a thing or two about K-pop. And it's outside my wheelhouse, I will be honest. 99%. I'm looking right at that. Be clean. Stupid dirt, be more clean. Why can I not get that? Oh, I'm having difficulty getting that bit. Twice, a girl group with 9 members. Holy crap. Love me some PowerWash Sim. Hello, HH2. News. We love a bit of PowerWash here on this channel. It's a good old relaxing time. This lets me have a nice little chat with you guys. It's like Zen. It very much is. I think a game where you can very clearly see your progress. There we go, got it. And it's like, hey, you're making progress, you're doing the work, you're doing a good thing. I've got all the inside bits. And it's going to make a satisfying ding noise when you do it. That's good stuff. Oh, there we go. Seat. Missed a bit there. Mudguard. It's these bits, right? Not to be confused with Midgard, as we were just talking about. That's different, that is. That's off of the Final Fantasy. It's great background noise for writing assignments. I love being your background noise, man. Let's get the feeling we're playing Lawnmower Sim. Oh, I haven't played that one. I have heard good things about it, though. Okay, which Mudguard specifically? I thought that was this bit above the wheel here. I don't know enough about bikes to tell you either way, though. I'm tapping that dirt button and I can't see a diddly dink. Oh, hang on. Hello? No, I think that was just reflection off the metal there. Ah! Lovely, hidden on the light there. Lovely, beautiful. Job complete. There we go. Goodness me, we're cool. $1,000, please. That's a little quick one to warm us up there. Great job on the sidecar. It's never looked better. Tempted to go in for the Appalachian Way mega run now. It's always been Bobby's dream. Oh, it was only $150, not $1,000. Fair. Well, $150 is $150, you know what I mean? Clean the fire station. Mucking on fire station Main Street. This will get us a grand, though. Denver Drill. Our fire station's as mucky as a pig pen. Ordinarily, we'd just break out a few crates of the cold stuff and let the strong arms and hosers have it. But what with being sent here, there, and everywhere in search of the mayor's dang cat, we just don't have the time. I'm messaging you from the lower branches of an oak tree at Great River that I can already see has no cat in it. Your name came highly recommended. Thanks. Denver. Well, Denver, I aim to please. So let's see. Denver Drill's a good wrestler name. You are right. Hello, Dan. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Alright, let's take stock of what's what then. So we have one fire station. It would appear we're doing external only. I'm guessing this door doesn't come open. A little squiggle on the door there. Graffiti style. Not been here for a while. That is true, you've been missed. Always love to see you here in chat, buddy. So I had to catch him on the drawing challenge. Oh, hell yes! For those of you guys that don't know, in our Discord server, we have a 30-day drawing challenge this October. We are doing a Sonictober, different Sonic picture in every day in October, except Dan, I believe, is drawing anything but Sonic. Okay, a little bit more up here as well. Okay, this one is a sizable old job here. I cannot climb this ladder. My lack of Sonic knowledge really is a hindrance. You are right. That's true in life. Oh my god, I can't climb this ladder. I genuinely cannot get... Would you get up the ladder? Thank you. A nice view from this smelly firehouse. And then we have the training building we'll need doing as well. Okay. You should do the scene one. I have a niche character in my back pocket for today's. I'm looking forward to trying to draw. I'm probably doing a horrendous job of realizing them. Okay, this is a big job actually. We've effectively got two tricky buildings to do here. Jeff Hardy. Okay, let's start on the front and take it from there. It's going to draw a Sonic restaurant eating a hot dog. Has anyone drawn Wade yet? Oh, from the Sonic films. No, not yet. Not that I've seen anyway, they might. Okay, well, at least we got ourselves... Let me see if the white one's going to work. And yes, it is. Good, lovely. At least we got ourselves a good little nozzle here. Okay, we need to use the green to get the mold off, I guess. That's fine. So the decent little area that we're covering with this one, so that's fine and dandy. Okay, get in the corner. Ben, how you doing, buddy? Who up making they piece? John Cena style. I think my favourite Sonic scene is actually whenever he talks to a regular human being, they pretend it's normal that he's there. Are you implying that it's not? I mean, I think, if anything, if I met Sonic, rather than go, oh, this is not normal, I'd probably just be starstruck. Yeah, AJ Styles, I saw, yeah, at the press conference for the Australia show. He's hanging him up next year. Hell of a career, though. Good on him. He deserves a good retirement. Surely gonna go down as one of the all-time greats. Fair folks are deciding to go on his terms. 100% agreed. Also, hello, Simon. How are you doing today, bud? AJ Cena and Tanahashi. Changing of the guard. New era in wrestling. I mean, to be fair, I feel like if we're being 100% honest with one another, AJ has kind of been done for a while. He's not really been a major component in WWE for a good while now. For better or worse. Worse, let's be honest, he is great. So I think, yeah, go out on his own terms before everyone sort of starts looking at him like, hey, are you still hanging around here, buddy? You're not gone yet? I think that's the way to do it. That bit in the corner does not want to come off. What did that guy ever do? There's one more match in TNA. To be fair, yeah, while they've got this partnership going, I can absolutely see them giving him the chance to have a final match in TNA. I don't know who he'd face. I couldn't tell you who's on that roster at present. But I do think that would be the nice thing to do. Right, Buka, hello to you! How are you doing today, pal? AJ leaving before he looks like the guy who passed his driving test 2 years ago but still shows up at the upper school. Yeah, you're right. And he's still got good mobility, and he's got his health, and he's got his happiness. Get out while the getting's good, says I. Leon Slater's champion of it for a chance for a match with AJ. Could be him, then. Okay, why is that not coming off? It's ridiculous. There we go, we got it. Leon Slater versus Javon Evans this weekend. Oh my god, dude. Javon is so, like, gonna be a main guy in WWE. Like, they clearly know that he is gonna be a fucking top dude. He's still so young, and it's kind of disgusting seeing someone who's barely cracked 20 years old just have their life pretty much figured out. Like, how dare you? What is wrong with you? How dare you make me feel old and crap? AJ should get a Cena level retirement run. He probably should. I suspect he won't. Orton should retire. Orton's retirement run might be 2026. Orton, I think, is not long for this world. I think with Cena going and AJ going, he's probably going to see the writing on the walls. I mean, Orton is now, I think, the longest tenured active member of the main roster, and he's been getting injured, and the injuries have been getting serious. I think he's going to be looking at bowing out. I think probably he's most likely to go, hey, if John's going this year, AJ's going next, 2027 is probably going to be Randy's year. Because he is going to get the full proper send-off treatment. Michael, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. Hope you're having a lovely day. We are cleaning a fire station, and what more could you want to do on a Friday evening? I ask you that. There's the same age and incredible. I'm disgusted by these gifted athletes being good by training for years on end to be really, really incredibly talented. What a bunch of absolute bastards. How dare they, you know? He moving more of a special attraction. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he kind of is now, really. He's not like... He's not working main event tags on SmackDown, you know? I know they don't really do main event tags anymore. That was the old booking regime. Do I have any dirt under this window? No. Good. AJ Cena on all... I think he goes without saying, yeah. I mean, Cena is... Let's face it, Cena could get... If the Hall of Fame was a real building, Cena would get a wing all of his own, let's be honest here. And I think the thing with John Cena as well is a lot of people didn't realize what we had in him until he was gone. You know, until he stopped being there every single week. An awful lot of people didn't realize just what he was bringing. And I'm not going to be like... I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, of course, you know, he's not... I'm not going to pretend he's a wrestler on the level of, like, Bret Hart in terms of technical skill. I'm not going to pretend he's, like, as good as Kurt Angle or Shawn Michaels in that kind of way. But in terms of what he's done for the company, for the industry, with his character, just an incredible performer. And he is going to be very missed, I think. Let me not gifted anything. How I'd love to see a reaction to the training tower. This thing, it's massive. That's going to be such a fiddly pain in the arse, isn't it? I assume I've got to do the inside of that as well. That's going to suck. What the fuck do they even do on SmackDown anymore? God knows, I ain't watching that shit. All the legends are going to come back from a queue, take it Randy on a revenge killing one by one. That's how he retires. Yes! Want Arquette for the Hall of Fame. Oh my god, could you imagine? I mean, to be fair, as a celebrity inductee, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And hey, I do have a lot of time for David Arquette for donating the money he made from WCW to the families of wrestlers that suffered a rather unfortunate fate, shall we say. I have a lot of time for that. Because let's face it, he didn't need the money. He was already a wealthy actor. Oh, okay, that was incredibly generous. Inside and out, I figured that. I feel like that's probably going to be more of a challenge than this. Oh my god, I just spotted we're only 6% done. Fuck me. Bret Hart Kitchen. Oh my god, get Shamrock in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Just saying. Michael Cole for Hall of Fame. Michael Cole's going to go in. Absolutely he is. Cole is closer to retirement than not, I think, at this point, but he's still got a little bit left in the tank. Active Hall of Fame like right. Well, yeah, to be fair, I mean, they did put JR and King in while they were still doing commentary, didn't they? But I don't know, I feel like with Cole, they probably don't want to be like, oh, he's Hall of Fame, like, while he's still active, because that makes him seem older than he is. I got a lot of time for Michael Cole. As a lot of you guys will know, he is one half of my favourite wrestling commentary duo. And one half of another of my favourites, actually. Again, that was quite generous. Need more ECW names in Hall of Fame? Taz should 100% be in there. Obviously, he is not going to go in while he's in AEW. Taz belongs in there. Sandman belongs in there. Regal will probably go in one day, yeah. And I will have no problem with that because Regal is fantastic. The customer at the work the other day named Michael. Holy shit. Michael Awesome, Sabu. Sabu I can 100% see. Raven I think is a tricky one. Because he has been quite an outspoken critic of the company in years past. It depends how much they want to put that behind them. Raven has Parkinson's. Oh, that fucking sucks. That's awful. Not the kind of thing you'd wish on someone. Raven watches a lot of MMA. I would imagine that's probably true of a lot of wrestlers, to be fair. Cracky! Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing today? How are your fingers and thumbs? Cracky, I have not even attempted to start any of the Minecraft stuff in Crossworlds, so I'm probably not going to unlock jack dick on it. One of the people on the wider account I work on is named Joe Hendry. Holy shit. Michael, I'm sorry, you said honky tonk man, and it thought you were using honky as a slur. Hall of Fame's a bunch of bullshit. Tonk man. Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, WWE, you know how they operate. If they think there's money to be made, they can forgive any grudge. Done a little bit today. Hurt my hands doing time trials early, so I couldn't do much. I'm going to be away, like, most of the weekend. So I will simply have to wait for it to come back in the rotation, most likely. But that's okay. I mean, I'm not a Minecraft guy, really, so... Not a Minecraft guy. Don't believe in Minecraft. That's a reference you won't get, Cracky. I'm sorry. Charles Robinson. Do we have any referees in the Hall of Fame? I think Tim White's in there, isn't he? But he was like... more than a referee, really, wasn't he? I forgive you for not recognizing Stone Cold Steve Austin decrying that he doesn't believe in CTE, a thing he very definitely fucking has. Like, Steve, that was the last thing on the table that would forgive the worst shit you've done, mate. I would probably embrace it if I were you. If you can believe it, I worked at a Panera several years ago. One of the customers I delivered for was named Logan Wolverton. Get out, that's not real. Ridiculous. Their parents must have known, right? Going to be AFK to cook late lunch. Frog, I'm curious if you have plans to do the post-game hangs with the Link's Awakening on Switch since you've been in the game. I might revisit Link's Awakening, to be honest. It's a while since I played it. I know I said on the NL channel I was going to return to it, and then I didn't. I will give consideration to replaying it on this channel, I think. I do love Link's Awakening. It's one of my favourite games. And that Switch game's so good. It's so lovely. I'm hoping to get Echoes of Wisdom. I'll be honest, I'll probably play that off stream first time I play it so I can get a feel for the game. But I'm looking forward to that. It's a little hectic. One of the special rules this time, hitting people with items takes 10 years to finish a race in Desmond. Jesus. And of course, depending on what items you get, they might not even be things you can hit people with. I mean, I like that they have all these special rules and stuff. It keeps things fresh. So that's cool. Next year, say helped a guy named Wade Pool. Switch version was my first Zelda game ever. Oh, nice. There's very little in there that I'm like, oh, I wish they'd not changed that from the original. It's a really well done reimagining. I'm very glad that we got it. I kind of wish that... I mean, I love that they've made a new game in that style, but part of me is like, oh man, I wish they'd done the Oracle games in that style. I would have loved that. Again, a pair of games that we are absolutely playing on this channel at some point. Love those games so much. Game Boy Color, so good. No rush or anything. Speaking of refs, Kyoto and the Hebners and Corderos need to be in Hall of Fame alongside the late Tim White. I mean, I think Earl Hebner, you would probably have a decent argument to make there for him being a Hall of Fame ref. He was the most famous ref of the Attitude Era by far. Kyoto, of course, had the longevity. Charles Robinson has the longevity now as well, of course. I think Hebner probably has screwed himself out of that by what happened that led to his departure from the company. Stupid, stupid man. Same's true of Dave, of course. They were both in on it, weren't they? Oh, we dinging. We dinging our things. Echo's Wisdom is great. Stream it blind. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. Is that a good idea, chat? do you want to see me suffer? Suffer? Of course you do. That's why you come here, isn't it? I assume it's a similar, like, challenge level to Awakening. Like, it's not gonna fuck me in the mouth every time I turn around, right? It looks like a nice, cozy Zelda time. Oop, you don't want that one. Because I am a shitty little baby and bad at games, lest we forget. And how could you when I constantly remind you all of this? Okay, probably I should get the ladders to get at the top there, get those bits in. It's not that hard if that's your concern. That's okay then. I know it's very different to your standard Zelda, of course. Because you are actually playing as Zelda for one thing. And that's pretty nifty. Don't get to do that in very many of them. Oddly. Old friend of mine has a brother named Logan Xavier. Jesus. They have to know, right? Their parents had to know what they were doing there. By the way, PowerWash Simulator 2 officially launches 23rd. Yes, I will. I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to get it on launch. I might wait till it's on sale or in PS Plus. Purely because I think it's going to take a very, very long time for us to get through the first game here. So I don't want to buy a game that I'm then not going to play for a very long time. But if it drops in price, so it goes on PS Plus, then of course that's different. Fair point of argument when it comes to those refs. Is Rudy Charles still a ref? I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I don't know the names of many of them, honestly. I was surprised to find that some of the refs don't use their real names. I don't think Jessica Carr is her real name, for instance. Out of the current crop, like other than Charles Robinson, I think I could probably tell you her name. Rod Zapata, I think, is one of them. And I could not tell you any of the rest. Missed opportunity to be called Jessica Carr, exactly. And every time she, like, rushes to make the pinfall count, she should just go, meow. Here comes the Jessie car. Joe Cancer Hall of Fame, Nicholas, Jameson, the Hand. Oh, Hand Henry? Mark Henry's son. It's a very serious choice for Hall of Fame induction. Is Mae Young in the Hall of Fame? She is, right? Like, surely. Like, I don't think she was alive, but, like, she's got to be in the Legacy inductions, right? And if not, why the fuck not? Yes, she is good. God rest her. What a woman. What an absolute hard bastard. Love Mae Young. May she rest in peace. Rudy Charles refs for WWE as Dan Engler. Okay. remember there was a period there that Nunzio was a ref, and I was like, oh, hey, it's Nunzio. And they just never drew attention to it on commentary. It's like, that's an easy pop, surely. James Maritato, I think his real name. Not that I'm trying to dox him, I'm just saying, like, that would be the name that he went by. But I don't even think they named him referee James Maritato, you know what I mean? He was, like, the guy that they never named, because they didn't want to draw attention to the fact that it was Nunzio being a ref. Never knew he knew something about some reffing. Forget about it. How about Nick Patrick at one point? Teddy Long. Teddy Long's in the Hall of Fame, isn't he? And rightly so. Nick Patrick, iconic. A referee that cheats, what a great fucking idea. Chilean Hall. Maybe not. She's inducted as part of the 08 class 6 years before I did. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Favorite thing is seeing Kenny Dykstra come out during brawls. They never reference him as Kenny Dykstra. I think Wade name dropped him once. And he name dropped Hurricane the other week. Which is weird because, like, obviously he is now just Shane Helms. He's not even Gregory Helms. So Wade just, like, broke Hurricane fave. Santino? Maybe. I mean, I can see that happening. Long tenure in the company, did lots of silly stuff, lots of memorable moments. He does have the that Royal Rumble clip that they're going to play from now till eternity. That record I doubt will ever be beaten. Curtis, what's your boys' stable? Oh, God, I'd have to think about that. For those of you that aren't OSW listeners, that's your collection of wrestlers that you like, who are a bit crap, and you should probably be a little ashamed to like them, but you don't. You don't feel any shame. Too many people on that podcast said that Test was their boy. No, Test is just good. I'm sorry to have to break it to you. Test rules. And I'm very glad that the internet at large seems to be coming around to that fact as well. That's nice. I'd love for him to go in the Hall of Fame. That ain't gonna happen. Oh, for sure. Hey, how's Trix? Still loving spring? Your jet around? So to speak. Narrowly missed out on another RV today. This thing was uglier than a chihuahua chewing a wasp, but it would have been my little wasp chewing chihuahua. Alas, you missed out. Oh, I got this whole upper wall here I didn't do. Whoopsie. Sugar Shane Helms, yeah! Kozlov's not Hall of Fame bound, I'm afraid. Surprise Santino and R-Truth never had a program of feud and them teaming up or fighting for comical purposes. Do you know what? Fair point, actually. I'm probably going to have to get closer to that, aren't I? What's your favourite test match? Oh, God. He had a really good one at WrestleMania one year. I can't remember which one. Is it 16 or 15? Genuinely can't remember. No, 15 would be too early. Not the fucking Scott Steiner matches. Holy shit. Awful. 100% Steiner's fault, by the way. Everyone's quite fond of the Brock match from King of the Ring. I quite like that. It's not as good as I think people would have you believe, but it is pretty good. I'm going to have to do that from here, I suspect. Whoa. Lovely. Love spraying his jits how Nick Cannon ends up with 23 kids. 2003 Ashes third game, the best test match. Just remember you gotta do... Oh, don't you worry. I have not forgotten. We'll do the walls, then we'll climb. Climb up top. We didn't get that. Deathmatch wrestler can go straight up wrestle. Drake Younger and Nick Gage. Always like Test and Albert versus Hardys matches. Hardys would sell like crazy for Test and Albert's cool moves. That's like the cool thing about the Hardys in those days. Like, because they were still on the smaller side, they just take everything like fucking death and it looked great. Probably not so good for Jeff physically long term that he did that, but hey, good matches. A good old time had by all. Brooke versus Kurt Ironman match, top 5 of all time. Fucking incredible match. I remember watching that one on that episode of SmackDown when it aired and just being like blown away with what they were doing. And like, not just awesome wrestling, which I think we all knew it was going to have, but like really good storytelling in it as well. So good. Ironman matches are really difficult to do and make interesting as well. Especially 60 minutes. But I just love the idea that someone's like, hey, we have the best wrestler who ever fucking lived on our roster. Why don't we just have him go out and work a 60-minute match? The answer to which is, obviously, yes, of course we should do that. And it were great. Some say TNA were underrated, they never got a tag title shot. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I think they are one of the more iconic teams of the Attitude Era, and yet, yeah, they never really, like, had that step up to the next level, you know? But with Fatal 4-Way King of the Ring 2000, first eliminated. Building a team for a year. That's the thing, like, it was short-lived despite being so iconic, and obviously it was also a vehicle to get Trish over. I love that... I love that we have, like, non-wrestling fans in the chat, and none of them have gone, what do you mean there was a team called TNA? What do you mean there's an entire company called TNA? That's going to require the ladders to be shifted, that's fine. Like, everyone just assumes that, like, yeah, wrestling's dumb. Stupid fucking thing. Like, that stands to reason. Of course it's called that. Can't do that for here, that's fine. Didn't really think I'd be able to, after all. Can I do it from here, though? No, because that's too short. I was not paying attention there. Silly me. There we go. Paid off. It absolutely did. Incredible, awesome match. One of the best ever. My Boy Stable, Amazing Red, The One Billy Gunn, Tyler Breeze, Canyon, American Males, Magnum TA. Nice. Solid picks all, actually. I mean, Magnum TA, like, I think you could make a case for just being, like, just a good pick for one of your faves, honestly. The ultimate what could have been in wrestling, eh? Red Madman, hello! How are you doing today? Boy Steel's probably like 40 strong. I do like, though, when you have a wrestler that's like, well, nobody else likes them, but they're my guy. Eh? Oh no. Well, eh is better than bad, so we must take the small blessings where they come, eh? Hopefully a nice little chill as I'm cleaning windows will take your mind off whatever's making your day eh. When I'm cleaning windows and fire stations. Oh geez, oh no. Yes, Americans in chat, genuinely quite a famous song in Britain about cleaning windows. We are not, by any means, a sensible or serious country. Oh, that bit does not want to come off, huh? Oh, oh dear. Oh no. Don't do that. Ah, there we go. Massively generous, but that's probably going to help us get the little bits that we can't really reach. Cool. What do you guys got planned for the weekend? So we're playing D&D. What you got cooking between you? Kids, don't run dangerously along a gutter at home. I'm a trained professional power washer. And also, this is not a gutter. That was my little test. That was my trap for you children, do you see? Not that I'm in the habit of trapping children, but you know what I mean. Oh god. Well, this side's looking alright. Yeah, beautiful. Job done, right? Oh, fuck. Oh my god, who programmed this fucking ladder? Ridiculous. Mick Foley. Interesting, unusual shape to this building. I have to approach it from a lot of different angles. Like Kurt, Eric, and Isosceles. Do you have the extenders? Good question. I don't think I do. Let me check. Or do I? I can't remember. Let's find out. Oh, I do, apparently. Wonderful. Which gun am I... Gun? Which thingy am I using? Prime Vista 3000. Just left or right on the D-pad. Oh. Oh, it's the 3000 I'm using, isn't it? Oh, okay, I don't have that one then. Well, let's get them now, shall we? Why not? Nozzle. 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 Oh, turbo nozzle, I like that. Okay. Maybe square or circle. Oh, there we go, yeah. Oh, that's making a difference. Good shout, mate. Good fucking shout. See, guys, without you, where would I be? Struggling, that's where. Professional, exactly. Which is a thing I will never be. Not if I can help it. New game is out soon. Yeah, I love how they put out the trailer, and it looks really fun. It looks really cool, of course. And like all of the comments were like, "Oh my god, soap looks like it's not going to be dog shit this time. Fantastic! It's actually going to be worth using the soap." These computer game makers, these lads, they listen to what the people want. Oh god. October's is expensive. Yeah, October is crazy. Glad I got an increase in my money. Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that. I have just the one game coming out in October, and that's coming next week. And boy, oh boy, am I excited. Booked the week off work for it. You will see hide nor hair of me all day Thursday. Digimon PowerWash collection. Oh, I forgot, of course. Yeah, Mortal Kombat's out because I'm getting the special edition one, so I'm not going to get mine till December. So please don't make me terribly jealous, will you? I'll be so upset. No, I mean, to be fair, I'm not like, oh, I can't believe I have to wait 2 months like that. To be fair, they are games I have played before, so it's okay. I'm not, like, heartbroken. If it was, like, a new game, then I'd be fucking devastated. But no, I'm glad that lots of people will be getting into the old MK there. Don't think I'll get it on release. That's fair. Football Manager. Tekken 3. Oh, shit, nice. You get a lot of coverage of soap in one, but only on big spots. Yeah. Oh. So is that Tekken 3 like they're doing it as a re-release on the PS Plus, or like in the Classics catalogue? Hell yeah. I mean, there are often times where I look in the catalogue and I'm like, how is this not in here? You know, that I would say is probably one of them. Because Tekken was already popular, but I think 3 is the one where the series really got popular. Where it became, like, properly big. Tekken 2, nice. A series that I need to properly play. I barely touched Tekken, and that is to my very real shame. Call myself a fighting game fan. Classics catalog is weak. Yeah, there's a lot of things I don't fully understand how they have them missing. You know. Sometimes it's licensing, and I get that. They can't help it, but it's like Parappa the Rapper. Like, how do you not have all of them on there? Well, there's only fucking 3 games in the series, lads. Beat 2K25, nice! Are you going to go back and play the other story paths? Yeah, the different stories and unlockables and stuff. Because you'll be delighted to know if you want to get all the unlockables and all the trophies, you will need to play through My Rise 5 times. Oh no, you were playing Showcase, weren't you? That's right. Who did you have... who did you pick in the final match, Jeppo? Bass won the Tekken 2 tournament, the wedding we were at in August? Fuck yes. I don't know if I mentioned this on stream, I think I did. Jen and I went to a retro game festival the other week at the village around the corner from where I live. And it was really, really fun. So many cool old games. We had a really good time there. And we got there, and I partially regret not entering. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to have a tournament on Mortal Kombat 2 this afternoon. And part of my brain was like, you should enter that. You would definitely win it. And then, like, 20 minutes later, all of the spots had been filled up while we were, like, playing on, like, Simpsons Arcade or something. Which ruled on a gigantic fucking, like, 60-inch screen. That was the best. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to enter that then. Never mind. Tournament started up, and, like, I remember leaning into Jen and being like, listen, not trying to be a dickhead, I could definitely win this. Like, that sounds like such a shithead thing to say. But, like, a lot of the people that entered, like, a lot of them were kids, which, like, I don't take any joy in beating children at games, but, like, if it's a tournament, you know, you do play to win. And then most of the adults were just button mashing. I was like, I could have absolutely fucked this as Melina. But then, like, the prize was, like, you got a money off coupon to the next event they were doing, and, like, a little medal. And it's like, oh, okay, I don't mind that, like, a kid won that, that's okay. I'm not so petty that I want to stop a child from having a medal at the video games. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's fine for children to have a nice time. But learn the combos, you noob. Anyway. You want to make sure you lose the extension on close. Oh, good thinking. Fair. Fair, fair, fair. You just forget it's there, you know? You forget you have the bloody thing on. Oh, I missed all that. That was rubbish. I didn't enter it. I was worried about spamming the 99% of the people that hadn't played Tekken before. Always the way. Who'd you pick in Simpsons Arcade? I like Bart. I love doing his little spinny move on the skateboard. God, what a fucking game. It's so good. I was so annoyed as well, because I was like, can you still not get the arcade 1-up of the Simpsons Arcade in Britain? And, like, it turns out, no, you can't. But, and, like, I was showing Cracky the link to this, because I was talking about, like, as a kid, I always wanted a Simpsons Arcade machine. Because we were talking about Sega Sonic and how it needs a trackball. And I was like, Simpsons Arcade. The Arcade 1-up has a trackball because it's got Simpsons bowling in it. So I looked that up and I was like, oh, okay, if I get this, I can mod it and put Sega Sonic on it. And then the link came up and it's like, oh, it's available on Costco.co.uk. And then I checked the website later and it was like, no, this is just a site spoofing the shit out of Costco. If I put my details on here, I will be subject to fraud. And I was gutted as well, because it was like 50 quid for an arcade machine. I was like, oh my god, it must be on a clearance. No, it's just a scam. Devastated I was. Gonna have to spam those games because they're so stiff. Yeah. Old Tekken is... It is very button mashing friendly, I think. That's the exact reason I picked Bart. It's the coolest fucking move in the world. I mean, to be fair, like, all the characters in that game are fun. To be absolutely fair. But Bart is just excellent. We were getting off all the combo moves as well. The little tag team moves they do. Very fun. Great game. Fucking love Simpsons Arcade. Did I ever play Simpsons Arcade on this channel? I think I did, right? Am I misremembering? It's that long ago. I think I did for like my 500 followers special. My little treat. Or was it Earthworm Jim I ended up playing for that? Oh, it might have been Earthworm Jim now I think of it. Maybe we still have yet to play Simpsons Arcade on this channel then. Well, we'll have to do something about that, won't we? What a game. Nothing is more demoralising than being beaten up with a vacuum cleaner. I don't know. I mean, being beaten up with a skipping rope is going to be pretty demoralising. At least the vacuum cleaner and the skateboards and the human fists are quite hard. A skipping rope's just like... I'm not saying it wouldn't hurt to be whipped by it, but like, it's not the same as being hit in the head with a chunk of wood, you know? There's so much like early Simpsons weirdness and relics of the early show in that game as well. Like Smithers has got the wrong colour palette. Sideshow Bob's there, but he's not a villain. And like that, like how early in development must that have made it? Because like that's season 1. Oh, Kelsey Grammer. What a lad. What a legend. The rope acts like a whip and a vacuum is a vacuum. You're right. When you put it like that, you are absolutely correct. Love to know how they decided they should make a beat-em-up centered around the Simpsons of all things. Do you know what, though? It's fun because, like, you look at all those games from the first 3 to 4 years of the show, maybe not even that. And The Simpsons had a lot of video games in its first few years. And that is the only good one. Like, Krusty's Funhouse is pretty good, but it doesn't feel like it needs the Simpsons license. And kind of a lot of them are like that, actually. It's just like, well, here's a game we've made, let's put Bart in it, and that's, like, call it a day, you know? Whereas Simpsons Arcade is like, it feels like, I don't think it could be anything else, even though it is obviously just, you know, it's X-Men Arcade again, and that's fine, because X-Men Arcade is tremendous. Or like Turtles Arcade, of course, I mean, it's all Konami, isn't it? But it just really worked. It's full of Simpsons. It embraces the series, whereas things like, I don't know, Escape from Camp Nightmare. What the fuck? What's that about? Or like the Game Boy has so many dogshit Simpsons games. It's astounding. I think Treehouse of Horror might be the only good one on the Game Boy. And bearing in mind that's Game Boy Color, so that came significantly later. One day, I'll end up having to do a Simpsons retrospective of some variety, won't I? Did I ever get that bit? I did not. Silly me. Ah, the underside, of course. I think everything should have a beat-em-up and a kart race. Difficult to argue. We didn't... do you know what? We never got a Simpsons kart, did we? And yet I feel like that would be so obvious. It'd be such a good fit for those characters. Maybe they were like, oh, we made Sega very angry when we ripped them off. Let's probably not piss Nintendo off. They'll definitely sue us. Okay, I think that's all the sides in. I'll just double check. Everything else I suspect is going to be on the roof up here. Up on the roof. Yeah, that's going to need me to go over there. So we're just over a third done. Exciting. Oh, another spotlight here. Okay. This all seems lovely. Kelsey Grammer was the first guest voice on The Simpsons. Hell yes. I know there was kind of like a stigma about early Simpsons. Like a lot of actors didn't want to seem like they were slumming it doing a cartoon. And then like a few years later, everyone wanted to be on The Simpsons. So it turned out good. Bart's Nightmare is everyone's nightmare. Bart's Nightmare, not great. Not one of the better Simpsons games, shall we say. Even Lisa, especially Lisa, but especially Bart. What an actor. Like two people used to fake names in the credits? Yeah! Al Brooks was one of them, wasn't he? Who was the other one? Oh, and obviously Michael Jackson was not credited as Michael Jackson. Oh, fucking Dustin Hoffman, of course. Oh, that's right, yeah, Al Brooks was credited. I'm so glad that they got him to do a role in the film, by the way. I thought that was really cool. He was like the recurring guest voice of the show's early years. I thought it was really neat that they did that. I mean, I can see why Michael Jackson might not have wanted to put his name to it, but at the same time, it was like, it's so fucking obvious. And also, you have just released a song about Bart Simpson, so I'm not sure I understand the point there, Michael. Hoffman, I remember, like, there was the whole thing, like, he didn't want people to be like, oh, he just does, like, shitty, like, cartoons that everyone hates now. Yeah, I saw the thing about the film, and, like, I'm in two minds about that, man. Because on the one hand, I'm like, oh, cool, you know, like a Simpsons film sequel, that might be fun. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh, a Simpsons film sequel, that is definitely going to be dog shit. Because, like, if you'll forgive my cynicism, I put on Twitter, like, what is it exactly about the last 20 years that would lead anyone to think this is going to be good? And, I hate to have to keep going back to this well, but, like, The Simpsons has been bad longer than it was ever good. It's just that The Good Simpsons is the best, funniest TV show ever made. So we do forgive it. But, like, this film I am concerned about. Like, the first Simpsons movie was well received. Yeah, but that's like 20 years ago, you know? Like, the whole series itself, I don't know. Still gonna say, well, you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna see it, but I'm not expecting it to be especially good, I'm afraid. Oh, my turbo nozzle, lovely. If they said, hey, yeah, Conan O'Brien is on the writing team, John Swartzwelder is on the writing team, I'd be like, okay, fair. It will probably be amazing then. But I'm not holding out a deal of hope. I would love dearly for them to prove me wrong. And I know people have said, oh, you know, wrap it up, lads. Maybe this is a good point to end the show. They're not going to. I think that they are... I believe they're contracted through 2029, which is so, like, sad. Like, and I'm not saying that to be sad, like, oh, you know, fucking Simpsons, but it's like, Julie Kavner, man, her voice is heartbreaking. First Simpsons movie had 11 credited writers. Yeah, I mean, I guess they probably wrote it in, like, the writer's room style. Not until Julie Kavner dies. I think it is very probably going to take one of them passing away. I really hate that we have to be cynical about this, but, like... I mean, to me, it's like, I don't know, because, like, it's not like I'm watching it, you know? I've decided that is not a show that is for me as an ongoing concern. I'm very happy with the first decade or so to rewatch it in perpetuity and quote lines from it till the end of time. But I don't need to watch the new seasons at all. So I'm not trying to be mean. Like, if you like New Simpsons, that's fine, that's cool, but I mean, I saw a thing on Twitter the other day, like, someone was like, oh my god, I thought the millennials were bullshitting, I watched old Simpsons and it is so much funnier. Because, like, a lot of the younger viewers have only grown up with, like, modern Simpsons, and, like, going... going like to those old episodes and being like, oh no, there are jokes in this. There are like 20 jokes a minute in some cases. It's a different show. So Hershey's the one that feels closest to the upper room. Denver Drill. Can't help but notice that your ad says PowerWash. You do realise that involves hot water. You should change the wording of your ad to say pressure wash, unless you're playing an upgrade suit. There you go. I've been calling it a pressure washer all this time, lads. Yeah, like, it sounds awful to say this, but, like, Harry Shearer is the other voice actor on the show that is getting up there in age. But I do think that they would probably say, like, if he passed, and I'm hoping that's not coming soon, don't get me wrong, I hope he has a good old run. I do think they'd be like, well, you know, he does the secondary characters, we can replace him. I do think, like, it would take one of the family passing for them to go, right, okay, do you know what? And again, I hope she remains in rude health for a long time to come. I do not wish Julie Kavanagh's death. I really don't. But I think you are probably right, that will have to be the thing that makes them finally go, right, okay, we can't do this anymore. Because I would imagine the rest of the cast wouldn't feel comfortable doing it without her. And I don't like the idea of The Simpsons being recast forever. They do not work like Disney princesses. You don't have to keep doing it. I would feel pretty gross about that, honestly. Look at this, the contrast here. Night and day, isn't it? Does it still do good numbers? I assume the cast have a Big Bang Theory type deal where they get paid a bunch of money for an episode. They absolutely do. They get paid an obscene amount of money. So I don't blame the cast for signing on every year. Like, get that fucking bag, bestie, you know? I don't blame them for keeping going. I think it's one of those things that we're like, it's just, as long as it remains profitable for Disney, I don't even know if it has to do good numbers on, I assume it's still on Fox in America. As long as enough people are watching on Disney Plus, they probably don't really care. What was your jumping the shark moment for The Simpsons? Jockeys. And I know that's not an uncommon answer to that question. Like, that episode was like, okay, this is quite funny. In a way, it's not classic, but it's still funny. It's good enough. And then, like, the big twist is like, oh, you know, Homer's got a racehorse. That's the gag of the episode. That's the gimmick. And all the other jockeys want him fucking dead. Like, okay, that's funny. Oh, the jockeys are, like, elves. And they live underground. Right, okay, well, what you've done there is you've taken a grounded show like The Simpsons, and you've broken the rules of that reality. And no, that, for me, I was like, nah, I'm out. Like, if you do that on Family Guy, that's okay, because that was generous. Family Guy is grounded to a point. Anything can happen in Family Guy. The Simpsons has always been a purely grounded show. The rules of physics generally apply. The rules of the real world generally apply. And when you're going to go... Like, I genuinely think if they'd have just not had that twist there, that episode probably would have been, like, fine. Saddle Saw Galactica, that's the name of the episode I'm thinking of. But yeah, when they were like, oh, we're elves, actually. It's like, right, okay, so you've just decided, fuck it, then we're just going to be stupid. And it's like, well, if... I'm not even saying that's the worst episode up to that point, but it was like, you're insulting my intelligence now. So, that was my jumping off point for The Simpsons. And I've drifted in and out. You know, I've caught the odd episode here or there, but from then on I was like, do you know what? It's not the same show. It's not as good. And I will be honest, I feel like a lot of my friends actually realised that before I did as a kid. Because I was very optimistic, and you know, in a way I'm quite easily pleased, it must be said. But yeah, I was like, no, The Simpsons isn't bad. It's fine. Like, okay, like it's not as funny, but it's still funny. And then I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, no, they were right. This is just dumb. Don't think you need to qualify. You don't want people to die. Well, you're right. You're right. I don't. Just to be absolutely clear, I hope that they have a long and happy and prosperous life. They do get paid a lot. They took a pay cut at one point to keep the show running. Yes, you are right. I do remember reading that now you've mentioned it. People don't even need to watch. They just have to keep paying for the subscription. Yeah. I wonder how long it's going to be until the subscription model... until the bottom of the barrel falls out, actually. Simpsons wasn't really something I looked at like that. Just watched it on Channel 4 at 6 after a dating show called Three of a Kind. I mean, like, I will be honest, like, as a kid, The Simpsons was one of my hyperfixations. I think very probably second only to Sonic the Hedgehog. So I fucking adored The Simpsons, man. And again, like, classic Simpsons, I'm quite generous. I will say, like, up to about season 10 is very strong. I think 3 to 8 is probably the peak. I don't think that is an unpopular opinion. 3 to 8 is the peak. 9 and 10 is still very good, very funny. And then it's like diminishing returns, like 11 or 12, like, well, this is pretty okay. And then from 13 onward, it's like, this is largely quite bad. And occasionally you'll get a good laugh in there. Like, I saw someone did a Simpsons shit post the other day, and it was like, trying to make a point of, like, you know, all these moments that people say, oh, the show's not funny, but they're like, think of all the funny lines, like, stupid sexy Flanders, that's from a later season, that's not classic era. And it's like, right, yes, but the most tightly joke-dense comedy ever written, endlessly quotable for a decade, it is not the same as, well, here are 10 lines we've cherry-picked from the past 25 years. Like, it's if you like modern Simpsons, that's totally cool by me. Don't let me think, you know, who gives a fuck what I think, you know? Like, who cares? I'm just a fucking dickhead on the internet, right? But I do always think it's very telling that all the people that are like, oh no, modern Simpsons is just as good. It's like, first of all, no the fuck it is not. I need you to be sensible. But, like, why then is it that nobody can ever quote a line from, like, season 28 offhand, when, like, we can quote entire episodes of stuff from before then? Do you know what I mean? And maybe that's just because we're big sad nerds that grew up watching it, but... Mine was wrestling. Well, yes, I got into wrestling slightly later, but yes, that remained a hyperfixation for me. Do you still watch it at times? Doesn't mean I think it's as good as classic. No, absolutely. I think that there is certainly a contingent that watch it and are like, well, it's not as good, but, like, it's almost like if you'll forgive me for saying this, it's almost like a bit of comfort eating, isn't it? It's like a warm blanket. It's like, oh, it's Homer, it's Marge, it's Bart. These are the characters I love. It's nice to watch them do stuff, even if you're not belly laughing. So, yeah, you know, again, no judgment for me if you do watch the show, if you do like the show. It's not for me, and it hasn't been for a long time. I remember last Christmas, I think it was Channel 4, had like a huge block carved out. It was either last Christmas or Christmas before. They just had like hours on the schedule carved out for Simpsons. Because, like, it was like, well, it's Christmas Day, who fucking cares? Nobody's watching telly, you're having a nice time with your family. We'll put whatever on. Here, have a bunch of Simpsons. And I was like, sweet, you know, we'll stick a bunch of Simpsons on while we're waiting for the Christmas dinner to cook. And then it was like, it was quite new Simpsons. I don't know how Channel 4's contract works, because I know it used to be they'd have to like have the rights to have like 3 seasons at a time, and they could air them in whatever order they liked, but they could only pick from those seasons. So it might be that, and like they just happen to have 3 current seasons on the go at the minute, or whenever it was. And like I was kind of watching this one, I was like, well, this is okay, and I got what they were going for with the joke of the episode, because they were doing a parody of like the gag of the episode was like they were filming like what was effectively a shitty Hallmark movie. Which is quite a funny setup, I will definitely say. But, like, the bit was that Skinner was... Like, his plot in the episode was shitty Hallmark movie all of his own, and it was like, you know, the parallels between the two were quite funny. But at the same time, I was like, well, it's not... It's like, that's decently funny parody of a modern thing. And I appreciate that, because Simpsons parodies are not as strong as they once were, I think. But at the same time, I was like, well, it's... The setup's funny, but, like, some jokes would be nice as well. Call me old-fashioned. Like, it was a fun idea. But it was like, some laughs would be advantageous, fellas. I don't know. Little Bart, Little Lisa, Little Marge, and the rest. I love that, like, how he groups Maggie, the fucking cat and dog, and the TV of equal importance. The TV not even a living being. See, if anyone, I knew Homer, if anyone was going to know which episode I don't know, it would be you. Like, I wasn't sitting there going, oh god, this is dog shit or anything. But I was just like, I don't know, the magic ain't there anymore. I did think it was quite funny though, because like my nana on my mum's side, she'd never seen The Simpsons before. My grandparents on the other side of the family had, and they quite liked it. But my mum's mum, she had never seen it before until that Christmas run on Channel 4, and she was like, "Oh, this is actually quite funny. I like this." I was like, "Do you know what? Fair play to you. Like, if she was enjoying it, that was good enough for me." Even though I was like, well, this is fine. But yeah, she, like, my nana was like, oh, this is really quite good. You know, I wouldn't mind watching this again. I was still kind of thinking, like, imagine if you watch one of the ones that are really funny, what then? She wouldn't know what to do, bless her. The thing is, like, it's difficult to have this conversation without sounding like a massive fucking comedy snob, isn't it? Because there are so many shows like that where it's like... The discourse is, this isn't as good as it used to be. And I'm in a few... I'm in a few fandoms like that. I mean, like, there's constant discussion in the Red Dwarf fandom about, like, where do the good ones end? Where are the bad ones? Does it get good again after the bad ones? Like, general consensus is, like, Series 8 is fucking garbage. But there are still people that love Series 8. There's no, like, definitive consensus with Red Dwarf, and I find that really interesting. Whereas with Simpsons, like, there is a line between, like, classic and post-classic, you know? I think with Red Dwarf, we generally decided, like, as a fandom, Series 1 to 6 is, like, the best. 7 and 8 are less good, and then everything post then is, like, better than 8 was, to varying degrees, except the one that is the worst episode of all fucking time. Don't think about the season takes anything away from the newer decent seasons. There are definitely some stinkers. I think it probably just comes down to, like, generous but fair, I'll take that Russ was pissing me off. I think it does come down to, like I was saying, like, the density of the jokes. Like, someone put on a clip the other day from the Treehouse of Horror episode where Bart's a vampire. Well, I mean, like, Mr. Burns is the vampire, like, isn't he? And then, like, obviously turns Bart. And there were, like, 4 belly laughs in the space of, like, 10 seconds. And they were, like, the comments were like, how the fuck did they do this? So I feel like we were probably just a little bit spoiled by classic Simpsons. Because it's like, not many shows can actually be that funny. My fandoms of Star Wars and Halo, both franchises that have taken a fat shit on my life in recent years. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hello, JC. How are you? I as a kid, I never saw Star Wars. The first Star Wars film I saw was Star Wars Episode 1. Because, of course, I was in the generation where that was the new one when it came out. Never grew up with the originals. And then when I did get around to watching them, it turns out that my opinions on them are very different to everyone else's. Everyone likes Return. I'm not mad keen on it. I think there's a lot of fucking around. A lot of faffing about. I think I probably prefer Empire to it, but like A New Hope is one of those films where it's like, I don't know. My theory on Star Wars has always been you could remove half an hour from every single one of them, and you would probably have a better, certainly tighter film for it. Generous, I'll take it though. The annoying thing is, like, the half an hour you could trim from episode 1 is the pod racing bit, which is also the best bit of the film, by some distance. But it adds very little to the plot. It's just a fun sequence. It is, unfortunately, just about the only fun sequence in the entire fucking film. Surprised there are so many jokes in an episode considering the current generation has such a short attention span. That's a good point, actually. I feel like maybe back in the day they were like, oh, we can't just do that style anymore because people will accuse us of being like trying to do Family Guy, but like I think now we're at the point now where it's like, it doesn't really matter. Who cares, you know? If it's funny, it's funny. I have an uncle who's such a big Star Wars fan. He owns a Stormtrooper costume. He used to wear to conventions. Hell yeah! I will say I love like that whole side of any fandom. You know, the costumes, the creativity. I think it's awesome. I do attend a few conventions myself, and like some of the costumes are amazing. And you have to think, well, there's very few parts of this that you could actually buy. Like, you could buy a Stormtrooper helmet. You might even be lucky enough to find a body piece. But then, like, you get folks that have, like, customized them and added all these extra bits. And it's, like, just so much love and care and affection goes into it. Think this game appears to be generous, I'll take that. Yeah, when it comes down to, like, pixel hunting, I will absolutely take it. I guess, like, the threshold must be, like, 99 point whatever, and obviously on a larger wall or surface, it is going to take over that number sooner than on a small one. Because if you had to clean literally every pixel, the game would probably not be finishable in a lot of cases. As a film snob, I think Empire Strikes Back is a legit amazing film. Other than that, my favourite one is Episode 3. Interesting. You don't hear a lot of love for Episode 3. I do remember it being very funny though. That people like when the prequel trilogy came out, there were loads of people like, it's supposed to be a long time ago, so why are the special effects better? And like, well, it's not a long time ago in the real world, is it, you dipshit? And also, crucially, it's in a galaxy far, far away. Their technology is not the same as ours, you stupid, disingenuous twat. Of all the things to criticise the prequels for, come on! Star Wars Cosplay Society. Oh, I didn't realise that was a thing. I suppose that stands to reason, though. It's always fun seeing, like, some of the recurring faces you get at conventions. Like, there's a guy who I see at a lot of cons all up and down the country, and he's got a costume of Davros from Doctor Who, and Davros is kind of a... He's a tricky costume to make because, like, you are effectively blind as Davros. So you have to, like, the actors playing him on TV cannot see what the fuck they're doing. So if you're going to cosplay him, you have to work around that first and foremost. And then, like, you know, he's gone to the trouble of having Davros's, like, his chair, so obviously he's got... Like, you can't buy that, so he's had to make that, he's had to fit the motors to it. Very cool. Love that. And then, like, just to stand out, he's, like, bedecked the plates on the front of it with, like, a stained glass effect. It looks so fucking cool. And again, that's what I mean about, like, the creativity of fans that love a show so much that they want to do something like that. I think it's awesome. I say Phantom Menace so much, I say Attack of the Clones so much. Oh, Jar Jar. Everyone hates you but me. Kind of funny how in a galaxy far, far away there's just regular-ass humans. We propagate the universe. Alex, hello! How are you doing, man? How's things moist? Have you seen the Carrie Fisher clip where she's yelling about the prequels? Says something along the lines of, why did Natalie Portman get to wear a bra? George Lucas told me I couldn't, there were none in space. George Lucas fancied you, Carrie, that's why. And so did everyone on set. Something that I really, really love about Carrie Fisher, God rest her soul. Like, Harrison Ford, like, he does have this reputation of, like, come on guys, I do things other than Han Solo, like, talk to me about my other films. And I don't know if that's entirely fair, because I do think that he is quite proud of being Han. But Carrie Fisher was like, fuck yeah, talk to me about Star Wars all day, every day. She was on a couple episodes of QI. And, like, you could tell they were really, really struggling to restrain themselves and not be like, please tell us everything about Princess Leia ever. And, like, when she finally got out, like, no, it's okay, you can talk about that. Like, the floodgates opened and she was so happy to talk about it. I just thought it was really sweet. Alright, been slowly getting over a sick, which I had since last Thursday. And that became a cold and another stomach bug. Bloody hell. Coming through the ringer there, man. Hope you are doing better. I am doing pretty good, thank you for asking. It's been a wild week at work, and next week is going to be even wilder, so I'm delighted that I'm not there, because it sounds like it's going to boot off in a major way. Leonard Miller, Doc, it's Leonard, Cal's dad. When can you come around? I've got something filthy dirty for you. Ooh, cure filthy dirty, you slag. Dog's name is like, oh, hell yeah. Thinks why he's always been an old man who doesn't give a fuck. Very fair. Harrison Ford hates Star Wars. I think Harrison Ford is like... I think he's always understood exactly what Star Wars is, and I think that's fine. Like, to him, it's a job. It just happens to be one of the jobs that has made him a household name. I think, like, he probably struggles to grapple with the fact that, like, to a lot of people it is their life. Because you'll find that with a lot of actors, like, and again, like, to go back to Red Dwarf and stuff, they had like an episode of University Challenge on one night on BBC Two for Red Dwarf night, and, like, they had the cast versus the fans, and the fans thrashed them because, like, the cast, to them, it's like they love the job, but it is a job. Like, they don't retain the information in the way that fans do. And I think Harrison Ford very much is like that. He's like, it's work, you know, it's a role. And I don't think he hates playing Han Solo, but I think to him it's like he turns up, he reads the lines, he goes home, and then he switches off, and then he's Harrison again. And I think that's probably fair. Whereas I would say he probably is a lot more proud of Indy, which again is very fair. I don't think I've ever heard him be like, oh, please, can we talk about something other than Indiana Jones? But I think as well, like, Harrison Ford is probably like, he probably still has that mindset that I know Alec Guinness had, which is like, he was very much under the impression that it was a kid's film, and I think maybe Harrison Ford has struggled to maybe be at terms with the fact that, like, it's not that anymore. You know, it's evolved from that. It evolved from that very quickly, to be fair. When he was doing press for the latest Captain America thing, he had the same demeanour for the MCU. Absolutely he did, and rightly so. Once again, get that bag, bestie. I don't need him to know about Red Hulk. I don't need him to give me the bibliography of every appearance of Thunderbolt Ross. Who actually appears in a surprisingly small number of issues, it turns out. Not a major character at fucking all, until they gave him powers. I do think, like, it's probably... I don't know, I wonder if part of it's like he just wants to kind of be a bit grounded about the MCU, because there is a degree of snobbery about it, let's be honest. Because they are popcorn films, they are sometimes a little on the schlocky side. And there is a lot of snobbery over it. And in fairness, through no fault of their own, they have led to the complete fucking ruination of cinema. Because everybody wants a shared universe now. And that's not the fault of Marvel at all. But, like, unfortunately, I think everyone's a little sick of that shit. And they're like, well, you started it, dickhead. So yeah, there's a lot of snobbery about the MCU. And I think maybe Harrison Ford is kind of like, I don't take it quite as seriously as that. And again, turn up, do the job, go home. I can't fault the man. Get paid an exorbitant amount of money. Good for him. Alec Guinness couldn't care less about the Star Wars franchise. He did love the big paychecks he got for being part of the growth story. Yeah. Smart fucking man. Outside of comic book franchises, shared universes are dumb. I think there is very little need to have them. I think, like, you can fully justify doing it for Marvel, because, like, I mean, like, you guys that have been following me on the Discord and on social, you know I'm doing a big Marvel Silver Age read, and even as early as 1964, we have characters crossing over in practically every other issue at this point. So Marvel has almost always been a shared universe. I mean, even going back to the Golden Age, those characters cohabited the same space, like Submariner and Captain America. Or Submariner and Android Human Torch all lived in the same world and interacted. So that's always been Marvel's thing. And DC, again, like, the Justice League know one another. They are friends. They work together. Because it sells comics, of course. So I think you can very easily justify it for that. But then, like you say, outside of comics, I think I would probably struggle to think of something that really needs that kind of shared world. I know, like, was it Universal that was going to do, like, the big shared universe for the horror films, and it was like, you don't need them to be in a, like, by all means make the films. What makes you think that Dracula and the Mummy have to occupy the same space, you know? Who gave you that idea? Why do they love being so wrong and stupid? It is possible for things to coexist independently. I mean, like, another very borderline example would be like kaijus. Because, I mean, obviously in Japan, like, King Kong and Godzilla have been scrapping since the 60s. And then someone got their hands on that idea in America. And suddenly it's big money again. But it's like, at the same time, do we really need it though? Freddy versus Jason. See, Freddy versus Jason is one of those, like, it's one of those things where I don't think anybody particularly thought we needed it. Do you know what I mean? That was one of those early examples of, like, hey, look, we own all of these things that Disney are very guilty of these days. That was... Is it New Line? that owned them at the time. Still do, I think, actually. I could be wrong. That was just them going, hey, look, we own these characters now. Here they are. And it was fun, it was fine. But I think if they had turned it into an ongoing thing... Like, Freddy vs. Jason as a one-off crossover, very fun, very cool. If you turn it into a series and you put every horror movie dickhead in there, it probably does lose a bit of the magic. And also, like, even with the first film, they hit on, like, well, we have to keep both of them strong somehow. So it's like, Jason wins, but not really, though. Can't kill Freddy, he's already dead. Can't kill Jason, he's already dead. Like, that's kind of the central problem. This ones that arise because of recycled prop Alien vs. Predator. See, like, those films being in a shared universe, like, the implications of that are ridiculous, because now to enjoy that series, you gotta watch, like... God, it's gotta be over 10 films at this point, right? Surely. Alien's got, like, spin-offs on spin-offs at this point. Alright, we're 2/3 done. I think we've done all of the main building. He says, hopefully, because if not, oh my god. That's looking lovely. Now we're going to tackle this. Good lord. Are those talks of another Alien vs. Predator? Every Ultron is part of the same universe. I kind of get that, though, because, like, isn't... I might be thinking, right, isn't that, like, kind of... It's not a legacy character per se, but it is, like, a role that's, like, passed down, sort of, right? Like the Power Rangers. They're not legacy characters, but, like, being a Power Ranger is a legacy role, if you get what I mean. So I kind of get it. And at least that sticks to its own little corners, you know? I will admit I have fairly limited knowledge of the old kaiju stuff there. Kaiju and Sentai. Two genres that I know very little about. Aside from watching the old Rangers as a kid there. Chat, who was your favourite Power Ranger? And why was it green? Because it was the Green Ranger. Let's not be dickheads now. Let's be serious. It was Tommy, wasn't it? Behave yourselves. Who else would it be? Each Ultra is a different character. They all live in the same world. After their respective season, they end up in the faraway world. Oh, the Ultras look interesting. Ultraman can never die. Only the actors that portray him. I didn't get Power Rangers. I knew of it, just like the red one. Yeah, I liked the red one too. I like Jason. And then Tommy rocked up and I was like, Jason who? I was like, listen, red is my favourite colour, but you are clearly not the coolest character. And then Tommy became the White Ranger, and that was rad as fucking hell. I kind of have to know, like, if the Power Rangers comics are any good. I'm very curious. Because, like, occasionally, like, if I go in HMV, they've got the box set of Power Rangers, like, just Mighty Morphin. And part of me is like, oh, I could get this for the nostalgia, and then I'm like, yes, but you are closer to 40 than 30. I am very confident I would not enjoy a rewatch of Power Rangers, but the comics might be a different prospect. Because they're not aimed at kids, again, without wanting to sound condescending. Recently did treat myself to something insane that Humble Bundle had on. They did a big bundle of Ninja Turtles comics and stuff. Like pretty much all of IDW Turtles was in there, so I was like, yeah, we're having that. Like, I read all the reviews and everyone's like, yeah, this is actually the best version of Turtles. Like, the consensus is this is fucking ridiculously good, you should read it. Sweet. Works for me. It was like 20 or 30 quid for the entire run of IDW Turtles, practically, and a bunch of stuff for, like, the ones set in the 80s universe, and, like, the OO's turtles and a bunch of the rest. There's some like Nickelodeon turtle stuff there. It was like astonishing value. So yeah, treat himself to that. Probably give that a go if I want to take a little break from Ant-Man boring the piss out of me on the old Silver Age stuff there. Prefer the White Ranger or the Green Ranger, other than my favourites were all the black ones. I do remember, like, even as a kid thinking, like, hey, is it okay that the Black Ranger is a black guy, and is it okay that the Yellow Ranger is an Asian lady? Is that okay? Like, even as a kid, I was like, this seems fucked. And I know they got complaints about it, because they were like, yeah, we won't do that again. We will take strides to realise... Because, like, it sounds silly, because in Japan, the Yellow Ranger is always going to be Asian. Of course they fucking are. But it did seem a little racist. So, like, I know that they were like, yeah, we won't do that again. Obviously, that was wrong of us. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, even as a kid, I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. So there's only ever one other Black Ranger that was black, and every Asian actress was a Pink Ranger? Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about the Pink Ranger. Give me Kimberly every time. Oh my gosh, she was so lovely. A justifiable childhood attraction, let's be honest. We all fancied the Pink Ranger, didn't we? Just like we all fancied Jet. My god, I still fancy Jet. She's in her 50s and she still looks amazing. Happily in a relationship, I hasten to add. Met the Red One at a bar in Kansas City. Nice! Did you get a chance to chat with him? One of the early comics gave us a great villain. I know there's a storyline, I think, where, like, Tommy is the villain, isn't there? Like, I can't remember what happened to make that happen. There's a Comic-Con thing next door. Met Chris Sabat and drank with Arthur Morgan and Chewbacca. Fuck yeah, that's a hell of a day, that. Love Chris Sabat, top guy. Don't know who Jet is. She was Gladiator on the UK version of American Gladiator. It's just called Gladiator. Yeah, she was... And I'm not saying this to be, like, strange or anything. I think Jet was very much... obviously the most beautiful of the gladiators on the UK show. And there's a lot of very attractive women on that show, but like Jet was stunning, man. And they tried to recapture that with Inferno in the Sky One version, I think, because like Inferno was like, oh, here's the glamorous one. The problem is Inferno was fucking crap. Whereas Jet was actually a very competent gymnast and athlete. Jet the Hawk. Shattered Grid, that's the one. Use the extent. Oh shit, I keep forgetting I've got the thing. Well reminded. Oh wow, that's going all the way up. Holy shit, look at that. Woohoo! I will need to use the scaffold. I'm not going to be able to reach the top bit. But look at that, lads. That's more like it, innit? I keep forgetting I have the big old long boy. Tommy chooses to remain evil, kills Rita, steals the White Ranger powers to merge with the Green, changes his name to Lord Drakon, travels through different universes to kill every Ranger. Holy shit. That does sound fucking cool. I don't know, maybe I'll have to check them out at some point. I know they did like some big like collector's edition hardback books a few years ago, but it's like they're not cheap. I would probably be better off getting a digital one. I think if I'm gonna get physical versions of any ongoing comic, it's probably just gonna be Sonic. Because those, like the hardback editions of the ongoing Sonic are very expensive, and they're very infrequent and very slow. As I have tongue-in-cheek alluded to in the past on the world's silliest podcast. I think Amy Jo Johnson recently wrote a comic. Yes, she did. I do remember that, because they made a big fuss about, hey, the Pink Ranger wrote this. Which I think is cool. Three-quarters done. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I think I mentioned on Twitter recently, like, reading all these comics. Excuse me. It's really making me, like, feel, like, in a creative mood to do, like, comic writing stuff again. He says as if he was ever a professional. Oh yes, back in the day, Stan Lee and I, we were on first name terms. Like, I won't lie, there are times that I miss writing, like being part of something like STCO, but there is no way in hell I will be on that team at present. Thank you very much. And also, I think if I were to ever be on a project like that again, I think I would have to be quite selfish. Which I don't like doing, honestly. I think if you're working on a group project, you have to want to work together, but, like, sometimes that does mean that ideas that you're very fond of don't get used. That's not me being bitter, by the way, that's just the nature of big group things. But yeah, like, I think I was saying on Twitter, like, I'd love to be able to come up with, like, a comic book universe, and the problem is I can't draw, and nobody would read it anyway. Realistically, I think that's all we're going to be able to get from ground level. So, let's grab this bad boy. Bart couldn't draw and he made Angry Dad. You're right. You're absolutely right. Still, one of my very favourite things about that episode is the fact that Angry Dad's voice actor is just Dan Castellaneta. Love that. Good, lovely. Hey, we are getting there. I don't know if we have any more small ones after this one. If we do, we might finish with another little quickie. Second favourite Dan Castellaneta after Homer is his bit part in Space Jam. Oh, who is he in Space Jam? Oh no, that's right. Yeah, isn't he like live action in that? He's in an episode of Bones as well, I remember, which was like, oh, that's Homer Simpson. What's he doing here? What's he doing in Quahog? We do not want to miss that. Plays a radio host in Parks and Rec. Nice! One of those shows that I have heard nothing but good about and have not watched, so maybe I'll have to do something about that. He's the guy in the crowd who talks about how talented all the players are before their talent is stolen. Right. Okay, the only bits on this side we haven't done are indoors. Fine. Double check there's nothing underneath that I've missed. No, got all that. Good. Mick Foley. I would love to be able to place that. Thank you. I love it makes a big clatter sound effect, and yet still not half as loud as it actually would be. Oh, missed a bit down there. That will never do now, will it? Feels very close to the edge, and I probably shouldn't be stood there. Four-fifths of the way done. We're romping on now. Nice. Extraordinarily generous, though. While I'm listening to this, I'm working on something for a class that's about business law. Each week we look at a case that goes over the lesson. This week's is the infamous McDonald's hot coffee case, which is way more fucked up than most realise. It is. What is... Now, you may be able to correct me on this one, Homer. My understanding of why that is particularly fucked up is... Obviously, of course, we all know when that incident happened, everyone was like, well, of course coffee's hot, it's coffee. What they don't tell you, dear listener, is that McDonald's themselves are the ones that propagated a lot of that to try and undermine the claimant's case. Because the coffee wasn't hot, it was unbelievably fucking scalding. That's what I recall is the fucked up part of that story. It was second and third degree burns hot. You are exactly right. Ridiculous shit. So a way hotter temp than it should. Yeah, like coffee should not physically be this hot kind of temperature. So for third degree burns to the point the woman had to have intensive vaginoplasty. God, I don't know how you pronounce it, but yes, extremely fucked. She didn't request that much money. No. Well, I hope she got a fucking lot. Listen, man, chicken nuggets are tasty, but McDonald's ain't my friend. Do you know what? Since I've been on this diet and exercise thing since June, I can't tell you the guilt I feel when I have a McDonald's. I'm like, no. The nuggets. But you know what? Sometimes you're allowed a McDonald's when you're on a diet. It's okay. Shit's not even real chicken. Hey, DJ Freaky V, how you doing today? Case was pretty easy for the woman too. They found hundreds of cases of people burning themselves off the... Holy shit. That part I didn't know. How did you get graffiti up here? That's genuinely impressive. I feel like a bad wrong un for getting rid of that. I have put this down backwards, so I've got that metal pipe in front of me, which wasn't very clever of me. Should hopefully, on my way in tomorrow, I should hopefully finally be in the... Oh, bloody hell. Should finally be in the green on the old BMI indicator, which is exciting stuff. Last couple of weigh-ins I have been hovering comedically close to it, and it's kind of pissed me off a little bit. But please, I just want to be considered medically healthy, I'm begging you. Another lie the news spread was she spilled it while driving when she was in the parking lot. That's the other thing. The news ain't your friend either. In a lot of cases. Especially sensationalist tabloids, eh? McDonald's, I think, is just one of those companies where I'm like, objectively, I should not support this company in any way. And I feel bad. But my god, chicken selects are tasty. I'm only mortal. Jury awarded her 2.7 million, the judge reduced it to 600k. Which, like, to be fair, is still a lot of money. But personally, for the fucking insult, I feel like she was... I feel like the 2.7 million, honestly, that's still a drop in the ocean for McDonald's, isn't it? Let's be honest. Turn that around, put it the right way, actually. Oh, it doesn't like that, does it? I'm not going to turn it around and put it the right way. Okay. Oh god, I can't even put it down now. Fuck. Slowly, slowly. Met my weight loss goal this week by getting COVID and being too sick to eat. Well, that's one way to do it. I am sorry to hear that you have COVID. I hope you recover from that very soon. But congrats on hitting your weight loss goal. Appreciate that for you, buddy. Where was I at my last weigh-in? Let me check where I'm at. I've lost my phone. In my rolls of fat now. Let's see. At last weigh-in, I was 13.4 pounds off my target. So I'm thinking if I keep up a similar pace to what I'm on currently, I should be able to hit that before Christmas, which is good. So I'm going to be honest, I might even be a little sneaky about it and go beyond my target, because I suspect there will be an element of overeating on December the 25th. But what there will not be on December 25th is an opportunity for me to go to the gym. So we get around it in other fun and exciting ways, chat. 2.7 million was picked because that was the amount of money they made off coffee for 2 days. Interesting. But again, as I say, 2.7 mil, a drop in the ocean for McDonald's. Even in 94? Yeah, you're right. Even before all the astonishing inflation that we've had. When you consider, like, how omnipresent they are, even in just the United States. Whereas now they could probably make 2.7 million in a freaking afternoon. Probably make it during the lunch rush, if we're honest. An element of overeating, it's Christmas. If you're not eating your body weight in celebrations, you're not doing Christmas Day correctly. I'm a heroes man myself. I like most of celebrations. But I'm not keen on nuts. Not allergic, just don't like them. Whereas you don't get any of them in Heroes, so... Cadbury's wins the day for me. Not sponsored, I hasten to add. Alright. I do believe that's the outside of this one. Oh, no, we don't want to miss that. Oh, we don't want to miss that. To be fair, that would probably be, like, an acceptable margin if we get the stuff on top. Right, in we go. Jeff Hardy. Third. My legs. My leg! Remember, folks, that the punishment for a crime is a fine. That crime only exists for the poor. You are right. Never forget that. Oh, now we gotta stick with the green then. Fine, that's fine, that's fine, just fine. I'm a celebrations man based on the Maltesers one. Maltesers with an A. Genuinely very good. Like, because they're not actually Maltesers. But they are very good as an offshoot of Maltesers. And I think it's probably wise that they were like, yeah, okay, these are too small to wrap up as an individual chocolate. We have to make a different one for the box. That was a good call. Fucking hell, this is dirty, lads. Well, you done set this on fire or some shit. What's the difference? I'm trying to think what you'd call... malted milk balls? Is that the American equivalent? That would be a Malteser. So it's like a little honeycomb ball with chocolate. It's like dipped in chocolate. Maltesers with an A are very similar, but they're a little bit larger. I don't think they're honeycomb in the middle. It's slightly more biscuity, I think. We call them Whoppers. Interesting. I love, like, the differences between American and British chocolates. I was watching an old WWE the other day, and it was like, and one of our sponsors is Milky Way. I was like, that doesn't look like the Milky Way that I'd be eating. But it does look tasty all the same. What's your Milky Way? Ours is like... God, how would you even describe it? It's not a nougat in the middle. Milky Way. Not the Milky Way. We know what that is. You can't eat that. Now, this is gonna... If I click on the Wikipedia link, this will be... Yes, that's the... American version. Right, okay. So, the American equivalent of our Milky Way bar is Three Musketeers in America. So, oh, it is a nougat. It's a lot less dense. That would be why. Don't like ours because I don't like caramel. The one that I'm looking at here on Wikipedia looks very much like a Mars bar. Which, again, fine. no problems there. But if you don't like caramel, then yeah, that ain't gonna work, is it? But I'm lately finding out that I'm very, very fond of Milky Way Magic Stars, which are just tiny little stars of chocolate with faces drawn on them. Because when they introduced them way back when, they were characters and they had names and personalities, and they no longer do, but they haven't changed the stars over the years, so that's quite cute. It's a fun little throwback, I guess, to a simpler time when chocolate could have a name and a national insurance number of its own. Why are you not coming off? You're really winding me up. Stop being dirty. It's not okay. You want to put face on candy when marketing brings it to life like M&M's? Well, now the biting makes sense. I can't see those adverts without going, that's Billy West, that is. That's Fry off of the Fuchiramas. Yellow One's voiced by J.K. Simmons, and it doesn't sound a thing like him, does it? No, you're right, it doesn't. Very well timed that, Jen, thank you. J.K. Simmons, what a tremendous voice. Suffice to say, doing that very comic book thing of hearing the voices of the characters when you're reading the comics, obviously I'm hearing him for Jonah. I don't think a more perfect piece of casting existed in those Spidey films. Which is another reason I love the second Tom Holland one. Because you get jump scared by Jonah at the end and you're like, it's J.K. Simmons again, it's right, it's good. Because I love how, like, in the Andrew Garfield ones, they were like, we clearly cannot find a better piece of casting than this. He's just not gonna fucking appear, lads. We're not even gonna try it. And then for the MCU, they were like, yeah, no, obviously, just reuse him, stupid. Brilliant. Also, perfect as Omni-Man. I need to watch Invincible at some point. Have you ever read the Invincible comics, Homer? Because like, I have it on reasonable authority that, like, if you haven't read them, you probably shouldn't, and you'll just enjoy the cartoon more. Like, is that fair? I have not fair. I like the idea that J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson in every universe. That is my new, very strongly held belief. It's only right and good. And also, in fairness, Jonah Jameson is, including Portal, Jonah Jameson is, we have to be honest, one of the best characters that Stan Lee ever came up with. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, to be fair. We must credit the creators properly when it comes to the old comics. But, like, Jonah's a fucking incredible character. He's so funny. Like, there's a lot of discourse in Spider-Man fandom at the minute of, like, the writers just keep shitting on Peter and it's not fun. But, like, in the early issues, it's like, he does have bad luck, but it's funny. And, like, Jonah will get one up on him and it's like, you're like, oh, you bastard, oh, you've outfoxed Peter this time. But it's like, it's like a bit of give and take, because, like, Peter he'll one-up Jonah, and it's fun, and you enjoy it. Even the Sony Spider-Man games, there, JJJ is a guy doing his best J.K. Simmons impression. I genuinely don't think you could have a better style of that character. Let me double check. I don't want to... Yes. Ed Asner did his voice in the animated series. And, like, he was real fucking good as well. But it's a very similar voice, isn't it? Gruff, angry New York man without being like, you know, the hey, I'm walking here kind of New York stereotype. It really is wild. Like, part of me is like, maybe I should be doing a blog about this, like reading these old comics, but it's incredible how, like, the same writer gives us, like, just wonderful adventure comics every issue of Fantastic Four, and then, like, brilliant drama stories with Spider-Man, and, like, oh, you know, his balance of his personal life and his superhero life is the most interesting thing of that character. Like, yesterday I read the Electro debut issue, and, like, Electro's fine, and the fight sequences are good, but the best stuff in that issue is just unmasked civilian Peter. It's great. And it's weird that, like, you have the writer that's giving us that is then, like, also doing, like, please God, please like me, Ant-Man. Or, like, here's the Incredible Hulk, we don't know what the fuck this guy's deal is, but we really hope you like him, because we think he's nice. It's one of those things where someone's version of the character becomes the standard, like Mark Hamill and Joker. Yes, Mark Hamill is very... like, a lot of the Joker voices, even if they're not doing a version of Hamill's voice, they're doing his cadence. And, again, rightly so, he is the best version of the Joker. Lightning in a bottle, Conroy and Hamill. I don't know if you'll ever get a pairing as good as that to play those characters ever again. I love that! Love the explosion of dirt on the walls there, it's come through the stairs. Man who is too angry and stressed to die. Exactly, that's Jonah all over. But like, what I love about the characters, well, like, he's a crank sometimes, and he's a, you know, he's a crotchety old bastard, but he's got morals, and he's a good guy, basically. He's not, like, evil. He's not a villain. He's just a minor antagonist to Spidey, and that's the fun. Spider-Man's good, lads. He's well flipping good. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if you knew the popular Marvel Comics character Spider-Man is quite good, actually. But he well is. Works in a stressful field? Yeah. Channels his anger into the wrong way. Yeah, into, like, shitty little 16-year-old Peter Parker. The little freelance dickhead photographer that's always talking back to him. I do like as well how, like, he becomes such a nuanced character. Because I have, even though I'm redoing, like, a 60s Marvel read-through, I have read a lot of 60s and 70s Spider-Man. I love that Jonah becomes this really nuanced character. So the time he directly contributed to the creation of Scorpion. Yeah, probably a bit of an oversight, that. But, like, again, I do like how that is kind of a thing. It's like, that's Jonah's biggest fuck-up. And it's like, it goes on to be a thing. Like, Scorpion hates him as much as he hates Spider-Man. And also, Scorpion is fucking mental. So, you know, there's that. Have you ever seen Toei Spider-Man in Japan? I haven't, actually. Is that the one with... I'm trying to get the pronunciation right. It's spelled Leopardon, but don't they pronounce it Leopardon? In the intro sequence. That's the one, right? The one that they gave an incredibly racist fucking name to in... the comic version of Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse. Thinking the exchange from Spectacular Spider-Man, boss, I like a word, how about scram, or 2 words, scram kid, 17, get out of my office in 2.3 seconds before I staple you to a flagpole. You know he had that one in the chamber. He came up with that shit in advance, then counted, he was like, I'm gonna use this on that little Parker prick. First chance I get. Just you wait, Sunny Beam. There's also a Super Sentai has mechs. Really? That I didn't know. That's extremely cool. I remember when I was a kid, I had a VHS tape that had, like, the live-action Spider-Man on it. And it's very much not the Spidey of the comics, but it's okay. It's a decent little bit of mid-budget family entertainment from, I think, the 70s. Stan Lee is to thank for the eventual Megazord. Which kind of, let's be honest, that tracks, because Megazord is very Stan Lee, isn't it? That feels like a thing he'd create. In fairness, Peter isn't usually snarky to JJ. He reserves that for when he puts the mask on. That's true. He lets it all out when he's in webhead mode. I love it. I mean, what a genius conceit as well. Like, the guy that hates Spider-Man the most is also the guy that pays his wages. That's too funny. I'm excited for, and again, like if I'm reading like every Marvel issue of the 60s, it will be a while before I get there. I'm very excited to get to the Romita issues. Because, like, Spider-Man is very good, like, consistently, but when Romita takes over, it's like, oh no, this is just the best. Oh, that's a point. Have I been getting every bit on these ladders? Oh, I haven't. Wow. That's not very good, is it? Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Right, I'll go and check that now before I forget later. Okay, they're fine. They're okay also. I crouched the whole way down the stairs. As you must. Backstory of Toei Spider-Man is a very Japan thing. The main character discovers an alien from the planet Spider as he dies and is given the powers from him. He's basically Green Lantern, but a spider then. Do you know what? Actually, Green Lantern, one of those characters I think I'd probably quite like to get into. I know that's DC, not Marvel, of course. But like with DC, I'm very much a Batman guy, and I'm not really fussed about anything else. But every time I read anything about Green Lantern, I'm like, shit, this sounds amazing. And Sinestro is very cool, of course, lest we forget. There was a thing in the Civil War comics when Peter unmasked publicly. JJ immediately fires him on the basis Peter had been conning him all those years by taking selfies. I cannot put into words how stupid I thought it was that Peter unmasked. Because to me, like, the thing was like, don't you wear that so, like, people don't target your family? And then what immediately happened? Oh, that's right, Aunt May got fucking shot. Stupid. I know that realistically they only did it because they wanted a reason to do one more day, which also I don't particularly agree with. But I think at this point undoing it is like, well, we're a little past the point now, lads, aren't we? Because I see people all the time that are like, you should undo one more day, and I'm like, guys, it was like 20 years ago. They're not going to undo it. They would have to undo 20 years of storytelling, and that's clearly not going to happen. But I do think it's a dogshit story, and they shouldn't have done it. Heaven forbid that our most popular character be happy, lads? Never been a comics reader? I guess I probably have, but not always superheroes, I think. Because as a kid, I used to get the Beano and the Dandy every week, and they're like anthology gag comics. For those of you that are across the other side of the Atlantic. So I grew up reading the humour comics, and then of course Sonic the Comic came out, and naturally I got that. But yeah, I never really had, like, you know, I never read Batman or Superman or Spider-Man as a kid. I got into them as a teenager, really. It's weird, because I seem to remember we had very limited options when I was a kid for Batman comics. Because we weren't getting the weekly ongoing, the monthly ongoing comic, I don't think, in like regular comic shops at the time. Whereas nowadays, if you go into W.H. Smith's, you can get ongoing reprints of pretty much every Marvel character of any note, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of DC as well. And obviously, like, comic shops themselves are a lot more prevalent these days over here. Back then, they were pretty rare. And, like, the only Batman comic I can distinctly remember from my childhood was one that was aimed at very young readers. And ironically, it is very hard to track that down now. So it's kind of a holy grail sort of thing to British Batman fans. Like, that was based on Batman the Animated Series, which was my first introduction to the character. But yeah, you'd think that they'd be like, hey, this is an absolute hit. maybe we should make the comics more readily available. And again, like, you know, the 90s was kind of the point at which everyone went, oh yeah, trade paperbacks, that's the way. So it was just one of those things where a few years later they probably would have capitalised a little bit more, but I'm not going to complain. BTAS is awesome. I'm sure nobody's going to argue with me there. Still one of the best cartoons ever, ever, ever. That's something I'd love to do a podcast on. Like going through the DC animated universe. But I feel like I'd need a co-host with that one. Like someone who would be going in completely blind. So, watch this space, I guess. Who knows? Who knows? In fairness, One More Day gives us the fantastic moment that Peter finally stops holding back and slaps the piss out of Kingpin. That is a really good page. I love that. That's fucking cool. It's obviously immediately undone with the reset, but very cool. Very cool sequence. Mine was the Burton movies. I didn't see those until quite a bit later. But yeah, I am very fond of those. Just captures that gothic feel of 80s Batman really well. 80s and I guess 90s too. Same as ULT, only read Beano, Dandy and Sonic the Comic, didn't get into Marvel and DC till I was a teenager. Well, I mean, we were reading nothing but the classics. Actually, that's another one I did like as well. Classics from the comics. That's still, like, they do an annual for that now. I don't think they do it monthly or weekly anymore, but I like, because it is like, hey, here's a bunch of old stuff from the Beano and the Dandy and the Beezer and the Topper and all of DC Thompson's humour comics from, like, the last 50 years. Do you ever watch Zeta Project? That's technically DCAU. I haven't seen Zeta Project, actually. I haven't seen much of Batman Beyond either. So I do have a gap in my knowledge for those. So yeah, I would like to work my way through the entirety of DCAU at some stage. Wembley, how you doing, buddy? How's things, man? I am doing very well myself. Bloody hell, 95%. Fucking hell, we're romping on, lads. I'm doing very well, man. How are you doing? How's things? I watched those as a kid, then my dad showed me the Adam West movie. It was at just the right age because I loved how cheesy it is. I adore like the cheesiness of 60s Batman. I know people that like can't stand it because it's like, oh, it's an affront to the character. It's like, no, Batman was kind of cheesy. Like, this show came out and then the comics were like this because they were like, oh, people enjoy this, well, we'll just make the comics a bit like this then. They'll be silly. Like, people do forget that, like, The Dark Knight Returns was kind of like pressing the reset button on Batman to make him scary again. I love when Batman stuff, like, DC recently put a thing on Facebook and it was like, oh, here's a little key art, like, promotional image for an upcoming Batman cartoon. And it was very silly and comedic looking and it looked really daft. And there were people doing the old, ha 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 ha, Facebook laugh react to prove that I'm not mad. Or, like, people giving it the angry react. And it's like, lads, do you ever think maybe this isn't for you? Do you ever think, like, if you're in your 40s... Like, I put a comment on, like, this isn't for the people that are touching 40. This is for children. Like, not every Batman thing has to be for you. And then, like, some guy in the comments was like, well, actually, I am 40, and I think Batman should be silly more often. I'm like, yes, mate, I love you for that. Because one of my favourite Batman things is Batman Brave and the Bold, and that is routinely very fucking silly. Did I miss part of that window? There's nothing pink showing up. Oh, unless, of course, I just cleaned it. I just didn't see it. Dang. Like, the number one funniest moment, I think, from Brave and the Bold is probably, like, where the sidekicks get a little bit pissed off at how they treat them, and Green Arrow's like, well, I always treat Speedy well. And you just get, like, a Family Guy cutaway to, like, one of his arrows has landed in the middle of a fucking crocodile-infested river. He's like, Speedy, get my arrows. Just so silly. I love that. And I adore as well how that show, like, delved deep into the obscura of DC. It is so cool. As a baby, my parents took me to meet Adam West and I cried for him. Aww! Doing good, finally got my PC back after being fixed for 2 weeks. Nice! Post something in Danganronpa. Don't have the wig for it yet, but it fits so good. Oh my god, I gotta see this. I gotta see this. Let's have a look. Holy shit, dude! Once you get the wig, that's gonna be fucking spot on, man. That looks awesome! Holy shit, I fucking hate Kokichi and hope he gets hit by a fucking truck. That looks so good, the little shit bastard. Batman was never scary till the end. Yeah, he was like... I think like the earliest stuff is quite moody. Like Golden Age era Batman, but the Silver Age Batman is very, very silly frequently. In a good way. Like, it's still fine. It's still atmospheric, but... in a lot of cases. But yeah, but frequently very daft. Batman does not eat nachos. Today we say things was campy back then no one would have said. No, it was just how it was. Remember the older Fantastic Four original cartoons? I haven't seen very much of them. I know they reference them in First Steps. I saw a bit of the 90s cartoon. It was probably like not one of the better Marvel cartoons. I mean, if we're honest, any of them that aren't X-Men and Spider-Man all qualify as not one of the better ones. And even Spider-Man's not great. Like, it's fine. And again, Christopher Daniel Barnes is the voice I hear in my head when I'm reading Spidey. So, lasting impact there, but... I mean, let's be real, it wasn't as good as X-Men or Batman, was it now, lads? Last third of The Dark Knight Rises is a tribute to 60s Batman. He's rushing around Gotham trying to get rid of a bomb, for fuck's sake. Stunt on his hose. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? If only he'd held the bomb over his head, he might have been alright. Wouldn't have had to fake his death. But, you know, some days you can't get rid of a bomb. That much we know. You can't escape me, I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. I think the Spider-Man cartoon was ahead of the time. It was... I do think it's, like, a lot stronger than, like, say... Iron Man, which left no real impression on me, or Hulk, which again was like... It was fine, I guess, but didn't leave much of an impression. I imagine the She-Hulk episode was probably a lot of people's sexual awakening, because She-Hulk is an incredibly sexual character. Let's be fucking real, lads. I actually quite like She-Hulk. I think she's a very fun character. It's just... Marvel have... Wow, that was unbelievably generous. Marvel have wrapped a lot of sex in that character, let's be honest here. Having the Punisher as a character blew my mind as a kid. Yeah, Punisher is nuts for a Spidey cut. Didn't they give him like a laser blaster though? Because I think like they had a... Didn't Fox Kids have like a no guns rule? So like all the guns were laser blasters. The Punisher with a laser blaster is a bit silly, but I'll take it. And, you know, lest we forget, he did debut in a Spider-Man comic. Good, Howie? I'm real good, man. I've just had a knackering fucking old week at work. So I was going to play some Sleeping Dogs, but I was like, you know what? I just want to have a nice chill one with me chat. With my lovely friends in chat. So we're cleaning a fire station. And it's lovely. 98% done. We have very nearly got this one in the bag, fellas. Ding. Ding. Don't tell me I can't reach that. That would be so upsetting. Too sleepy for Sleeping Dogs. That was so generous. I am very tired, but I'll be okay. Just need... It was one of those things where I was like, I want a game... I want to stream, particularly because like I don't like cancelling streams, and I will always try not to if I can avoid it. But at the same time, I was like, I don't think I can concentrate on like a game where I'm going to have to like actively think about where am I going to aim a gun, where am I going to drive to, you know, things like that. I just wanted a game where I can just chill. So it was going to be this or Barbie, because we do have more Barbie to do, and I will be returning to Barbie. I'm not joking, I fucking loved that game. It was great. Ding. 99%, we're getting there. We're very nearly getting there now, guys. G.I. Joe as well. It was a Rambo cartoon. There's more sense. Rambo getting a cartoon is nuts when you think about it. Like a lot of 80s and 90s cartoons, if we are honest, probably should not have existed. Very much a, like, what the fuck were they thinking kind of thing, but it was profitable, so they did it. A lot of things that were not in any way kid-friendly getting a cartoon. Hulk was good, had a huge drop-off in its second season. I imagine the budget probably got slashed. Could not have real guns, only lasers. Remember Sonic X was censored due to that? Sonic X got changed a lot for the American version. And, of course, like, the American version was what 4Kids then sold on to the international audiences. So that's basically, like, the version that most people had of Sonic X. But yeah, very heavily edited. I think, personally, I kind of agree with a lot of the changes in Sonic X. Because it's like, well, let's not forget, he is a kid's character, so I don't mind some of the changes. There's a joke in the first episode that a lot of people really fucking hate. I genuinely think it's funnier in the dub. Like, the original line, like, Sonic's being chased by Sam Speed, who's in an F1 car. And, like, they make it, like, a fourth wall breaking kind of gag, like, hey, don't you think this is dangerous? Somebody could see this and imitate it. And Sonic, like, looks at the camera and he goes, kids, don't stand on top of Formula 1 racing cars. Which, like, that is a funny line. But, like, the dub version was, kids, don't use Formula 1 race cars to chase hedgehogs. That, to me, is way fucking funnier. Because it makes it even more ludicrous. And, like, people got so mad that they changed that joke. I'm like, no, but that's funnier, though. Don't you see that that's genuinely funnier? And I will go to my grave defending that. I know Lola disagreed with me on that one. She's like, no, you're wrong, actually, you fucking sick freak. Everything needed a cartoon in the 80s and 90s. Beetlejuice had a cartoon that's not a child movie. Exactly. Remember Sonic X? ITV ruining Sonic X and Yu-Gi-Oh! For me as a child. Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, all three children's cartoons based on very adult Jim Carrey movies from the same year. Yeah, like, it is weird, because, like, as a kid... Sorry, swig of my old drink there. As a kid, like, yeah, absolutely, we were all watching Ace Ventura. We were all watching The Mask. And we probably shouldn't have been. Let's also be honest, there's a bit of rancid fucking transphobia at the end of Ace Ventura. That's not aged well at all. Product of the 90s. Oh shit, oh piss. I think it's one of the windows around here that we've not done, that's fine. But yeah, I feel like that's why the second Ace Ventura film is a lot more family friendly. Because they were like, okay, kids like this, so we should probably tone it down. That's my estimation. Oh no, there's no window on this side. What am I talking about? Aha, gotcha. Think. 2 office walls, nice. And then we've done this one. Yeah, like, and again, the mask. The mask is not really for kids, is it? But we were all watching it as kids, and I think we were very glad for the cartoon. It's weird because the mask cartoon is like based a lot more on the comic than the film. Which one have we not done? So yeah, they kind of have a bit of free reign to mess about with it, I guess. 4Kids dub gave us Sonic singing the Star Spangled Banner. Fuck, I've never been able to watch that the whole way through. It upsets me too much within seconds. Like, no, it's too embarrassing. Can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. They just stopped doing it as soon as go back to the first episode. Yes, I do vaguely remember them doing that now, because I remember I tried to record a lot of them to VHS. And they didn't make it easy. Whereas I quite liked when the BBC would just endlessly loop Fresh Prince, and I'd be like, oh, we're at the end of season 6, better get the tapes ready and record every episode. It was a dark time, lads. We didn't have DVD box sets. We didn't have the Fresh Prince DVDs for a fucking age over here. Another show I'd love to go back and rewatch. Because I adore Fresh Prince. It's fantastic. Always have to remind myself during these combos what you call what we call a season, you call a series. It's weird, like, the one that really upsets the apple cart on that is Doctor Who. Classic Doctor Who is in seasons. 2005 to 2022 Doctor Who is series. And then they've gone back to seasons, I think, for the last few years. It's really confusing. It makes discourse online incredibly difficult. And annoying, because Doctor Who discourse is shit anyway, lads. Let's be real. Why can I not find these last little bits that are glowing? Can I... Where are we now? Office walls. Can I not, like, turn the highlight on permanently for them? What's squirting, lads? Hey, Flover, how you doing? Mass cartoon's based more on the comic, which is even more adult than the film. You are right now that you say that, yeah. What's the difference? Nothing, really, as far as I can tell. I was going to say Discourse of Doctor Who is always sensible. Fucking I wish.
No episode after Peter Capaldi is real. It is all fan fiction.
Shut up. Doctor Who's been fan fiction since 2005. Oh, it's under there. Oh, you sneaky little fucker. Look at that. Look at that. That's cheeky, isn't it?
I don't like Doctor Who because there's a woman in it.
Shut up. Speaking of, I know how much you're into Who, but between looking up some stuff yesterday, I found Clive Swift's interview on Doctor Who. Are you aware of it? Oh, am I aware of it? Hey, FA, any chance you can come hose down our spare truck? The mayor's running us ragged over here. Ah, sounds good to me, Denver. That's job done, lads. That interview was fucking incredible. I was telling Jen about it the other day. She was like, disbelieving that he would be such an unprofessional bell. I feel like he was probably just, like, stressed to fuck that day. Can't believe Richard Bucket's so angry. It's astonishing. I can't, like, part of me is like, I can't believe they printed it, but at the same time, it's like, well, what choice did they have? They had to fill the page. How much more of the game do you have? Like, good question. Let's find out. The people really arguing realism in a show about a shape-shifting alien. You'd be surprised. PowerWash Simulator. Wiki, because of course there's a wiki for it. The follow-up I read was that RTD approved it for publication. He'd been a similarly difficult sod on set. Oh, don't fuck with Russell. He'll ruin your life. Peter Capaldi, fucking Doctor Who's been nothing but fanfic since after Sylvester McCoy. I mean, it has. Like, the fans are running the show now. And I love Doctor Who. I do. But, like, everyone that's been in charge of writing it since 2005 has been a Doctor Who fan. And I think at this point it's impossible to have a writer that's not a Doctor Who fan, because you have to know the show to write it at this point. It's so entrenched in itself and its history. Right, let's have a look now. Where are we? So in the main jobs, it says there's 20 jobs that you do as part of the career mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've done 7. So we're about a third of the way through the main career. So that's pretty good. Some of the later ones are going to take ages. I would like to say Jodie Whittaker is adorable. I'd marry her tomorrow. She is such an absolute sweetheart. I'd love to meet her, because she's started doing the cons and stuff now. She's so nice. Very funny. And she didn't deserve like 1% of the shit she got from the worst people in the world. Alright, let's watch the replay. Beautiful. My God, he's good, lads. Look at that. Doctor Who's a fascinating show. It is simultaneously weighed down by and utterly disregarding of its own history. Somehow, you are right. That's one hell of a job. Thank you. I got to say, there's been a lot of talk in the community about the quality of your work. And from one person who loves standing and spraying water at stuff to another, you have our respect. As well as some of our taxes. Lovely. Right, it is 10 to 11, but I think we'll do a little quickie to round things off here. We got this one first. We'll do Grandpa Miller's car. This one shouldn't take too long. The Spray Community. So then next time we'll do the Forest Cottage. We'll probably do the Fire Truck. Fire Truck. This game was made in England. You know that hurt them to type. It's pretty good AJ Styles hick voice. It's well practiced. All I'm saying is, I have some questions, that's all. I'm not saying the earth is flat. Yes, you are, you stupid man. I loved that moment of Brian just being like, shut up, you thick fucking dick. You think the earth is flat. And he's like, no, I don't. No, idiot. Oh, dear. The man that common sense forgot. Hello, Doc. I hope you're as good with cars as you are with houses, because I've got my old wagon out of the garage, and it's dirtier than a Dung Beetle's Christmas list. Nice! That's a good one. It still turns over fine, but I'm not taking Dolores out for a spin till it's as gleaming as she is. Thanks, Leonard. Start job. Should be an easy 250, this, hopefully. Get the big spray nozzle out on it. Oh, it's only a little dinky one, isn't it? You're ready. What can we do with the white one? You might find the odd streaky line where Bert tried to clean it with his power washer. Dribble washer, more like. Ha ha! Oh, Bert, what are you like? You clod of a man. You fool. You ape-like being. God, this is stubborn. Stubborn ground in sturts. Sturts? That's a bit thick on this one. Yeah, where have you been driving this, Grandpa? Through the poo factory. Pasties! If you wanted any proof that this game was made in Britain. Pasties, mate. Futurama is a show that has ruined the word pasty for me. Because now every time I see a pasty... Oh, hang on. By Jiminy, that's right, I used to race this beast all over. It's got a grunt like an angry rhino. Heck, I won the 1980 Race of Champions in it. Could be a nipple tassel cover sponsor. Or Sable Raw one time. Yes, great minds think alike. Pasties, that would be, wouldn't it? But yes, Futurama has ruined the word pasty for me, because now every time I see a delicious Ginster's pasty, all I can think of is... he did the nasty in the pasty. Yes, and that past nastification is exactly what gives us the edge, or like whatever the line is. Past nastification fucking cracks me up. What a line. See, like, to go back to what we were saying earlier about, like, Simpsons and like being past its best, it's weird because I'll see clips from modern Futurama and I'll like, this is still funny. I haven't watched the show like in a while, so I do need to catch up on it. But like, there's a lot of people in the comment sections that are like, God, this show sucks, this isn't good. And I'm like, are you looking at the same clip I am? This is genuinely funny. And again, maybe it's not as funny as the classic era of Futurama. But I likes it, I think it's alright. Modern Futurama is generally better than Modern Simpsons, it's still very hit and miss. That's valid. How Simpsons still going? Disney money, innit, mate? They love a profit, those lads, my god. Door cleaned. Goat in. There you go. That's your Zelda Twilight Princess reference of the stream. There will not be another coming anytime soon. Would you just be fucking clean already, you smelly car? I gotta say, like, since I watched a documentary on and I couldn't tell you which film it was, but on the bonus features for one of Pixar's films, where they did an interview with a lady, and she was like, "Oh, hey, my job at the studio is to, like," I couldn't tell you what the title is, it was that long ago, but she was in charge of, like, making things look like the right material, for want of a better expression, do you know what I mean? Which, like, helps with the immersion in the films. Like, since then, I've kind of got a real appreciation for that sort of stuff in films and games, like, going from, like, this horrible, shitty nastiness, which, like, you can imagine how that would be to the touch. And then now it's like, it's nice and shiny and metal. It's just cool. I love that. I love that this game has that. It's so cool. I also am struggling to pick a position and stick to it. But lads, don't we often have that problem? Stop it. No, behave now. Come on. Really, no need for that kind of filth, is there? This is a different kind of filth entirely that we're cleaning here. Ding. The turbo nozzle is helping here as well. Entirely different kind of filth altogether. Come on, there we go. Is there a typical British show you liked as a kid you feel the world should know about? Oh, God. Now you're asking. Are we thinking like a kids show or just a general British telly that I would like probably engage with as an adult? The answer might be the same, actually. Both, okay. One of them, I will be honest, like a show that I loved as a kid. I think you could make a very compelling case for it being family light entertainment rather than a kids show, and I think that would be fair. And I'm pretty sure America had a version. Well, I say I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact America had a version of this, but I don't know how well known it is. Would be Robot Wars, and of course in America you guys have BattleBots. Hey, Dirt. But like the beauty of Robot Wars is very different to BattleBots, I find, because with BattleBots, like it's like here are like some of the most genius engineers we could find. They have invented a killing machine. Hey Dirt, what? Get lost, would you? Fuck's sake. Like, here's one guy, he's made a robot called Tombstone. It could probably destroy most armies single-handedly. Whereas, like, the beauty of Robot Wars isn't that. Okay. The beauty of Robot Wars is, like, it's an insane fucking bloke in his shed made this death machine with a massive spike on it. Robot Wars rules, dude. Or was it all on YouTube? Yes, absolutely. And if you have Mech Plus, it's all on there too. Craig Charles is the guy. Love Craig Charles. But yeah, I would happily go back to Robot Wars now. There's very few bits in that show where I'm like, that doesn't work for me as an adult, because it's just good, silly old light entertainment. And it's very fun. And then, like, when they rebooted it, it was like, wow, okay, so now we're doing STEM shit as well, and that's cool. Like, they had an educational segment in every episode. I loved that. Does the playlist include Robot Wars Extreme? Robot Wars Extreme is the most Attitude-era WWF I think Robot Wars ever was. And I love that about it. I don't think that show could exist at any point other than the turn of the millennium. Robot Wars Extreme. Like, main Robot Wars, yes. Robot Wars Extreme, that's pure, like, late 90s, early 2000s. So good. So, yes, that's probably the one I'd say that it's, like, maybe the kids show. Well, kids/family show that I would say is the most. But again, America has its own version of Robot Wars. Nickelodeon did a series, hosted by Mick Foley, by the way. And then, of course, you've got BattleBots, which still goes to this day. And a lot of Robot Wars teams actually compete in BattleBots, which is really cool. That's a lot of my memory of it. BBC used to show it Friday nights. They did. Maybe it was cool. Liked some of the charm. Felt too clean. It's because it didn't have Craig Charles, like, on an absolute cocaine bender on it. And I love Craig, but let's be honest, he was probably off his tits during a lot of that show. How long have you been? I was thinking of taking the car for a tear up down the old abandoned sewer system. Oh, that explains it. Didn't really like the reboot of Robot Wars. Darrow Breen's great. He's not the hype man Craig Charles is. That's very true. The teams got genuinely pissed at each other. Pussycat. I know. I can't remember which team it was, but yeah, Pussycat were definitely. There was an ongoing feud there. There must be something on CBBC, like proper, like outright kids telly that I liked that was British only. I'm trying to think. I will give a shout out to Sooty. We love Sooty. What a lad. Sooty's generational. As an adult, I can find Sooty funny. Someone put a picture on Twitter the other day of Sweep trying to spell his name with like fridge magnet letters. And he got two of the letters upside down and wrote Smeed. And I don't know why, but that had me rolling for like 5 minutes. So simple and so funny. Sooty's great. Like, I will say, like, as a general kids telly thing, our Saturday morning shows were very good when I was growing up. Live and Kicking was excellent. It's funny. I was doing a little bit of a wiki troll the other day because I don't know what reminded me of Live and Kicking. I was thinking about the puppeteers that did Sage and Onion, and they did, of course, Bro and Bro on What's Up Doc, which was also fucking incredible. SMTV Live at its peak was tremendous. And it kind of upsets me a little bit that Kat Deely is now on the kind of television shows that she is, but never mind. Ant and Dec, meanwhile, have taken over the entirety of British TV, so good for them, I guess. I have thought of one that... I don't know if there's an American equivalent, because it feels like there would be, but Funhouse. I think every kid of my age loved that one. I've had a word with Lenny, he's certainly not going to be tearing it up down the sewer system, he'll be sticking to Main Street for now. I feel like Robot Wars would be the same celebrity deathmatch in this day and age. It wouldn't have the same effects it had in the early 2000s. People shit all over it and wearing other both shows were genius at this time. I loved celebrity deathmatch. Like, I haven't seen much of like the revivals they did, but the early stuff was really good. I think you're right. It is that cultural zeitgeist. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a recurring character. I think that tells you everything you need to know about the period it was in. She had the same hometown as... Oh, nice! Philippa Forrester, she was a sweetheart, bless her. What a lovely lady. It was Razor who Pussycat had the issue with. They kept killing Razor. It was just... That's right. Funhouse, whole lot of fun prizes to be won. It's a real wacky show where anything can go. Use your body and your brain if you want to win the game. So Funhouse was like... Okay, there were two shows that were... In fact, no, there were three. I can never remember the name of the third one, but they were a very similar thing. And, like... Slime and destruction were kind of the themes on both. We had one show called Finders Keepers, which, to me, seems the most American of the three. I imagine that was from an American format. There was one that was a haunted mansion kind of riff on Finders Keepers. I can never remember what it's called. But Funhouse was, like, I think the one that was the most well-remembered of that ilk. Basically, like, it was just... hey, here's a thing. We've constructed a set. To win this round, you have to find whatever. You're going to do that by diving into like a fuckload of gungeon slime. You're going to do it by wrecking the shit out of the set. And at the end, right, there was a go-karting segment, and that was cool as hell. And the hosts were Pat Sharp, who had a killer fucking mullet, and he was awesome. And the twins, Melanie and Martina, I want to say. And everyone had a crush on them as kids too. Because they was cute. It's going back to what we were saying about Jet from Gladiators, the kind of people that you'd have a crush on as kids without fully understanding what a crush was.
The pretty lady's nice. I don't know why I think that way.
Jet was adorable, still seems to be. She is lovely. I met her at a con once, and oh, she is so nice. Just a sweetheart. I think I kind of shocked her. I don't know if I showed you the photo. I have, like, a massive, like... Kellogg's Frosties gave them away. Like a 3D poster of her. And she was a bit like, holy shit, I remember these. like blown away that somebody would still have it. So I've got her signature on her thigh. So there we go. Gladiators was good. But to say more generally, a show that I think I'd like for more people internationally to know. I'm going to have to go back to another show we mentioned earlier. I fucking love Red Dwarf. And it's sci-fi, but it's one of those things where it's like, don't let that put you off, because it, like, the comedy is the thing, not the sci-fi. The sci-fi is the vehicle for the comedy. And the funniest thing as well, like, while Doctor Who was off the air, Red Dwarf was like the #1 sci-fi show we had in Britain, because there was nothing else. And also, like, Craig Charles was like the fucking guy for light entertainment. Like, he was on like the #1 and #2 shows on BBC Two between Robot Wars and Red Dwarf. He was the fucking dude. Red Dwarf's tricky one, it's brilliant, the humour is uniquely British. Yeah, there are a lot of episodes where, like, the gags probably don't translate to an international audience. I will definitely agree with you there. Which wheel's dirty? These ones are fine, aren't they? Because they did, like, a US version. Like, they did a pilot for a US version, and it's fucking horrible. But, like, they changed some of the gags to be more America-centric, and they don't work as well, I think. It loses the charm. The backwards episode of Red Dwarf's one of my favourite episodes of anything. It's a barroom tidy unrumble. Nod Null. 371 Selim. Fucking great. St. Francis of Assisi, what a bastard. And Santa Claus, sneaking down the chimney to steal presents from all the kids. Most of the gags go completely over the heads of most countries except Australia and New Zealand. That is very fair. I have had a few Australians say that they fucking love Red Dwarf. I wanted to go to the convention they're doing next year, but oh my god, it is spenny, lads. I think we're done. Open the templates. Lovely. What a beaut of a mobile. Turbo fast car racing team. That's a fun little car, that. Great Charles Scouse accent company. He's the sadist who goes around maiming small animals. Oh, so good. It's weird as well, because like, most of them weren't really actors on that show. Like Craig Charles was a poet, Danny John Jules was a dancer, Norman Lovett was a stand-up, and yet all of them kind of just fucking nailed it. I mean, Chris Barry, impressionist rather than an actor, so there were no actors in the cast. And then Robert Llewellyn joined in series 3, and it was like, oh, an actual comedy actor is here. What do we do now? Doc, the car looks so fresh. You are a soap star. Ha ha. I cannot wait to see old Bert's face when me and Dolores streak past his front yard and he sees what a power washing pro can do. Yeah, that's me, a power washing pro. Okay, next time then, guys, we will clean the fire truck and we will clean the forest cottage. I think that's going to do it for today. Well, I know it's going to do it for today because it's 10 past 11 and I got work in the morning. So we got to deal with that. But that's okay. It's been a lovely old time this evening. Like I say, guys, I don't like changing the old stream plans too much, but I was too knackered to properly pay attention to Sleeping Dogs. So we'll return to Hong Kong another time. That's probably going to be it for me for streaming this week. I will be back next week, but I'm probably only going to do the one stream, at least scheduled. Excuse me. I'm going to be doing the last bit of Donkey Kong Bonanza. We're going to finish the story in there. I have it on reasonable authority that the last area is quite long, so I wanted to do a stream just for that. Pokemon is out next Thursday, so I will not be available while I am returning to my beloved Carlos and catching them all. So yeah, I booked the week off work because I was like, if I only play this in the evenings, I'm not going to be streaming, and that's not very fair to everyone else. So I'm going to try and get as much Pokemon in as I can next week, so I can be back to a regular schedule. Played a robot character in my last D&D campaign. Basically, it's creating gifts for every visual representation of how my character is feeling. Phenomenal. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Think. Let me run through just the regulars then. So social media, if you're not following me, those are your links. If you're not already in the Discord, hop on in. That's that link there. If you're not listening to my podcasts, you can find them on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Podbean, and plenty more beside. Chattatouille, Ruthless Aggression Relived, and Sonic the Hedgehog, the Fanfic, the podcast, to suit all means and tastes and all that business. And generally just a good old time and a good old laugh and a bit of bants in it. I will probably be doing a bit more Sonic Crossworld at some stage. I only have one more rival to do, and I might clean that up. And we'll probably do a bit of the race park, because I did say I'm going to do some of that on stream. So we'll do, maybe we'll make a stream of that, perhaps week after next. Unless I just get a free quiet moment in the evening, I might do a surprise stream. Who knows? Who's to say? And I think that's about it, actually, for today. So, we are going to end it there. We're going to raid into... Who are we going to raid? We're going to raid into... Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll raid into this person who's also streaming a bit of PowerWash. So, do be nice to them. This is Bentley71, so be nice to them. That's going to do it for today, guys. Obviously, if I do have any other updates for you, I will drop them on the social media. I'll drop them in the Discord. You'll be the first to know. I had a lovely old time chatting to you guys, as ever, and I'm looking forward to more of that. But for now, it is time for me to go to bed, bows. So I will see you and on. Have a lovely rest of your evening and a lovely rest of your week. Much love to all of you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.